What is happening, Alpha Team? It is DJ AlphaTyler, and we are back with another episode of Around the Music. If you don't know Around the Music, man, that's the hottest show. We bring on some dope artists, usually some underground artists, everything. Get some exposure up in here. Get you guys some attention on some people that are coming up. Some people that we're rocking with, figure out what makes them tick, where they came from, what's going on, and get a little bit more than we can get through just listening to the music sometimes. So up today, if you guys don't know, we got Glyphic 302 King. What is up, my guy?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Just trying to stop being a lazy bum for a minute. I see Shanester and CJ up in here. Let's see. We probably got somebody else coming. It looks like the view ticked up a little bit. We'll get some more people here in a minute. But to kick it off, man, tell me about that name. Tell me why the name. I guess 302 is your area code. But what's up on the King? What where it come from?
So the name Glyphic, actually, believe it or not, when I was growing up, as a teenager, all teenagers think they're the shit. So me and my clique, my posse, we all made like nicknames for each other. And at the time I had like a kick for just playing with fire and shit. So one of my friends was like, yo, we got to do something with pyro. And I was like, I couldn't think of nothing. So I'm like, well, if you come up with something, let me know. And one of them was just like, what about pyroglyphic? And I was like, I ain't never heard some shit like that before.
Yeah.
So when I finally took music serious, the only nickname that I really had was pyroglyphic. But I didn't want to be known as an artist to be fucking with fire, so I just dropped the pyro. Just kept it.
Yeah, I feel that. So I mean, you coming in, it's basically it's dropping that piece of that younger nickname, and coming out, kind of keeping the more relevant, the more serious sounding, and it flows well, like it fits. Like I honestly, me personally, like I don't know your real name, but like I can't picture calling you by your real name. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of sticks in that you just look like Glyphic to me.
Right.
I see we got a couple others. We got Caleb Vibes. Shout out to Caleb Vibes. I know he's got some new tracks coming up. I think he just had a photo shoot the other day too, looking all fresh in them headshots. We got John Henley up in here from the UK. Man, what's happening, everybody?
I just had my first UK collab a couple weeks ago drop.
That one with Bowser, right?
Yeah. Yep.
John Henley, you know Bowser? I'll give him a minute to answer.
Yeah.
So with Glyphic 302 is your area code that you're from, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the king part basically, growing up, it was just I'm the youngest of five. So I've got two older brothers, two older sisters. And my mom, being a single mother, she always preached to us that you have to hold yourself like a king. You have to, hold yourself to your own standard. There's nothing more valuable than your own word. So that's pretty much where that stuck. I like to hold myself as a king would. Right
on. Yeah, I was trying to send a text to my wife, and my phone keeps changing to form. Right on. Yeah. And so I noticed too, because you had because actually on Instagram it says Latin King, right? Yeah. And so is that your background? I mean, are you?
I'm Puerto Rican. Yeah. Yep. I'm Puerto Rican. Yep.
Okay.
So that's where that comes from.
Right on. So how did you get your start in music? I mean, you were talking about your boys, you were talking about, kind of running around with the nicknames and everything. And then when you finally got interested in music, you dropped the pyro piece, stuck with Glyphic. How did you get your start in music? Like, where'd that come from?
So from a young age, I'd say probably 11, 12 years old, I started writing lyrics, but they weren't like lyrics. I started out writing poems, you know what I mean? And it was just a way basically for me to get my feelings out, what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and eventually the poems basically turned to lyrics. And then when I really actually started taking music serious, I have a friend here in Delaware, Ridge Baker. He had been into music for years. And, a couple times I went over to his house and we were just vibing out and he was doing his thing. And I'm like, man, let me see if I could throw something on there. Just fucking around. And I did something and Ridge was like, yo, you should really like try doing this. Like, if you like it, if you're passionate about it, you should. And that's where it took off.
So how long ago was that? Like how long have you actually like laid down, like been on that grind?
The first thing I put out was like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But then I took like a hiatus for like 2 years. So about 2 years ago is when I really took it serious, really started dropping consistently, like looking for a fan base, trying to build that credibility and all that. So almost about like basically 2 years strong now.
Okay. And if you guys don't know Glyphic, if this is your first time like hearing him talk, we're gonna play one of his tracks in a minute. I also got a link down in the description if you guys want to head over to his channel and sub. Make sure that you do. Dude's making awesome music. I'll tell you, I've been impressed and definitely like, because I mean, 4 years with like a 2-year hiatus between your first thing and when you started actually getting serious. I mean, it's impressive how you write, considering like I mean, you're still pretty new. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And if you actually listen to some of the first songs that I put out on my first project, Stitched with Good Intentions, about 2 years ago, you can tell I'm super raw, super new.
Yeah.
Just trying to find basically, where to sit on the beat, find my sound and everything. And my engineer tells me all the time, he's like, dude, it's amazing to see where you were 2 years ago and where you are now. He's like, people just don't progress that quick normally.
Yeah.
It don't happen like that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I was expecting you to say you've been rapping for like 10 years when I asked that question, because like I said, I mean, when you're making your music, not only, I mean, you sound confident when you're rapping it. I mean, that's a big part of it too. That's especially a big part for newer people is projecting confidence in your voice. But how you're putting together the wordplay, the bars and everything like that sounds more experienced than just a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, for real.
Yeah. So how'd you get that style? Like, you just went in because you don't use a lot of effects or anything like pitch corrections, or really, I mean, you probably hit like one or two every now and then, but like, you're not using a ton of stuff on your voice. I mean, it's just you. So how'd you settle on that?
So basically, like I said, about 2 years ago when I hooked up with my engineer, him and I, right off the jump, I was like, bro, if you and I are going to establish a work relationship, I got to get you on the phone. I need to talk to you person to person. I'm not with that tech shit. Like, I need to know you. You need to know me. Yeah. So, we linked up, we talked for a couple hours, and I recorded my first song and I sent it out to him. And when he sent it back, it was so crazy sounding, bro. It was like all these like new age rappers with that mumble shit, the auto tune, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, hold on. I'm like, we can't be doing that. You gotta, all that shit you got on there, you gotta take that off. I'm like, yeah. I'm a big advocate for sounding as natural on a track as possible. Like, if you can achieve the sound without putting any effect on it, then do that. Because I love people to hear my voice. I don't want you to hear, like, no disrespect to him whatsoever, but like T-Pain, that auto tune is insane. You, like, most people, if you were to hear him from a song, you have no clue what he sounds like in real life.
Nah, and that's the thing. I mean, real talk, like, I mean, and that's fine for some people, because some people enjoy listening to that. Some people look at the, your voice as an instrument and everything, and that's fine. Their music's still going to be there, but I'm with you. Like, that's not really for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not, when I'm listening, I want to hear what somebody's bringing. I want to hear somebody's story told with their voice, because for me, I've always looked at hip hop, and I think you look at it pretty similar way. I've always looked at hip hop as, you need to be making a statement or telling a story or something, doing something besides just getting out trying to make a couple of dollars.
I think all music should be that way, for real, for real. Like, honestly, like I get it. Everybody wants to be able to make money. You want to be able to continue what you're doing, but at the same time, you shouldn't be, in my opinion, you really shouldn't be putting out I call it just because music. Yeah, that's what I call it. I can't stand that. Like, if you have, like, put your persona and your beliefs and your morals into your music and let that translate so people can realize who you are, and the real ones will follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. That and like you said, I mean, I said hip hop, but I mean, it really is all genres. It's not just hip hop, but
Yeah,
to me, hip hop. Looking at the history of hip hop has always been about making a statement, maybe more even than rock. I mean, rock is the good protest genre,
yeah, yeah,
but rock you can have more of a justification for kind of letting your voice just be an instrument and stuff like that. With hip hop, like you're an MC, you're bringing a story, bringing a statement. You need to have a point in what you're doing.
absolutely.
Let's see here. Shane said a minute ago, don't know how true it is, but heard the best athletes in music comes from single mom households. I mean,
Statistically speaking, you are correct. Most D1 and professional athletes and most breakout artists come from struggling households. It's sad, but it's the truth.
It's that hunger, man. You don't have that drive to exceed.
Feel like
you ain't ever been hungry.
Yeah, it's like you. It's almost like you have something to prove. Like there's something missing. There's something that you haven't had.
Yeah,
and, you're trying to get to it.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest part of it, really, is like you come from that background, you come from that piece where you've had to do without. I grew up, I talk a lot like in Southeast Kentucky, mom wasn't working, dad didn't even graduate high school. And so it was like for a while, I mean, food was whatever dad was, he drove a box truck around to the stores, whatever the stores didn't buy from the back of the truck was most of what we were eating, plus what we would grow in the garden, or like if we slaughtered a hog or something, like that's what we ate. Yeah. And so, I mean, you do without at least what you want a lot of times, but that gives you that hunger to push and do better in your life, Yep,
for sure. It definitely creates like a spark, like a type of hunger, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So V7 Reaver. So who's V7 Reaver? Because I think that's one of your boys, right?
That's Trevor. He's my wife's nephew.
Okay. Because I saw him the other day, and so I knew from the chat the other day on Thursday. I thought that was one of your boys, and then he was up here. Of course, he threw out the "It's Glyphic, baby."
Yeah. He went total fanboy on us.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. We all got to have somebody that's back in our corner 100%, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm definitely glad he rocks with me. Yeah.
So let's play a song real quick. I'm gonna play this one, and I've played it a few times. I'm just gonna throw it up, and I'm gonna play it through. It's the Glyphic beatbox remix. We've thrown this on Thursdays a few times, and so if you hear we ready to play that yet? If you hear regular on Thursdays,
I tried probably.
Yo, is that the AlphaTyler hoodie right there?
Yeah, bro.
My guy. Yo, I got mine right here too. Hang on.
Had to throw that on, man. Come on now.
Let's see if I can do this with it. I don't want to take my hat off on camera, so I'll be Glyphic saw my hair earlier. He knows that it's nothing fantastic to be talking about. So
nothing to brag about, right?
Nothing to brag about. Oh man. There we go. Hang on. We about to be twinning up in this mug, man. Look at this right here. Look at this.
I had to throw it on, dude.
Look at that straight twin mode. Mine's a little bit more faded. I've watched it a few times.
Mine's right out the pack.
Yo, man, tell me this ain't the most comfy hoodie you've ever had in your life, though, for real.
It is comfortable for sure.
Bro, I got this thing in, and I'm like, man, Streamlabs does their merch right. Like, this thing, like, it's full. I feel like I'm laying in a cotton cloud.
Yeah, for real. Hell yeah.
Let's see. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this track real quick. We got the beatbox remix up on deck. Let me share this thing. Let's see. Share. There we go. I go back and forth between Streamlabs and StreamYard so much. Like I genuinely throw myself off sometimes on the controls for them. All right, so let's play this thing on through real quick. Listen to this for a minute. If it's your first time hearing Glyphic, get down with it. Get into the bars, man.
Gotta catch them, man. There's so many bars in this song. It's not even funny, bro. It's not even funny.
Real talk. There really are. Let's see. The audio's playing, right?
Baby. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. They ask me my name, I tell them it's Glyphic, so let's get it started, yeah. I fly like a plane, the coast isn't clear, so I'm not departing, nah. No blue checks, I'm not verified, I'm still in the market. No Louis, no Gucci, no Prada, my label is not, I'm still shopping at Target. God damn, I'm feeling exhausted. Puffing out smoke, it's arson, yeah. I think that I farted, shitting on niggas, I use them as tools. So give me some paper to down these lyrics, that should be the hardest. No Mortal Kombat, my delivery's flawless. I stay on my pivot, you know that I'm ballin', I paint you a picture, cause bitch, I'm an artist. So let's get it started. It switches when I roll through, I'm like dearly beloved. Who else can I go to? My mind is feeling scrambled. I walk on shows, but that's so new. She says she want the yummy. I'm like, bitch, you must be confused. I know I've done things that I can erase. I'm chasing the cheese, I want me a taste. Feel like a baby lyrical lemonade. I'm reading their books, I must be a spade. I'm trying to collect, just give me what's mine. Can't give you no hands, I ain't got the time. A bone to pick, you're lucky that's fine. I don't come in pairs, I'm one of a kind. My lack of drive sometimes can make me go insane. But man, when it's my turn to bat, I bet I go Bruce Wayne. They like Lil Pump, but hate Lil Wayne. That's just a fucking shame. And truth be told, we're the ones that's rapping, so we're the ones to blame. They don't want to hear it, they just want to steer in the fear, misguiding the use. They don't want you seeing that they ain't believing the hype and they lie in the booth. They'd rather just cover it, but I know up under the cap they still rap like a tooth. They say that they real, but they rather sell their souls for a car and a diamond or two. So let's get it started. It switches when I roll through. I'm like dearly beloved. Who else can I go to? My mind is feeling scrambled. I walk on shelves, but that's so new. She says she want the me. I'm like, bitch, you must be confused. I know I've done things that I can erase. I'm chasing the cheese, I want me a taste. Feel like the baby lyrical lemonade. I'm reading their books, I must be a spade. I'm trying to collect, just give me what's mine. Can't give you no hands, I ain't got the time. I bone to pick, you're lacking the spine. I don't come in pairs, I'm one of a kind. Cliff.
All right, I had to cut off the promo for the new EP coming out, but the new EP is coming out, so nobody missed that. Yeah. Man, I've listened to that song every time, and like I typed in the chat right there, honestly, I still want to pause every time I'm listening to it because I'm just like, my man smacking me in the face, like especially on the line talking about they love Lil Pump and hate Lil Wayne. That's a damn shame, man. That's where music's at today,
shame, man. It's a fucking shame.
It is, man. It's sad. I never thought. Okay, so I was slow to get on the Lil Wayne train. You know, like when he first came out, I was like, I ain't even really feeling this. You know, like it was because it was, you know, that wheezy style, like that. I was like, you know, this ain't real hip hop. Like this is lady hip hop or something. You know what I'm saying? Like just because he sounded so, he didn't sound hard. You know what I'm saying? Like he sounded.
He's got like a screechy voice.
Yeah. But I mean, I warmed up to it after a while because I mean, if you can't warm up to Lil Wayne's lyricism, his wordplay, like Lil Wayne is a beast.
For real.
And so, and I warmed up to it over time. And so honestly, when the newer kind of, you know, more harmonic hip hop stuff started breaking out, when the mumble rap and all that started breaking out, at first I was like, nah, this is gonna be another thing like Lil Wayne. I'm gonna say it's trash at first, and then I'm gonna warm up to it over time. And I've been waiting, and I still can't warm up to it because it's still trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just nothing redeemable in there. You can literally go in. We could, you know, that there's a problem when we could take this conversation, put it into an app, auto tune it, and it becomes a song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, for real.
And that's what they're making though.
It's awful. There's so many songs that they start playing, and I have no fucking clue what they're saying. I couldn't see what they're saying.
No
idea.
It's trash, man. And you listen to it, and you finally do find what it says, and it's like there's a recipe. Let's talk about drugs. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about hoes, and let's talk about guns.
Cars.
Yeah, cars. But it's like all that status stuff. I got a gun to be tough. I got my money. I got my drugs. I got all this shit. And I'm sorry, like anyway, for me, like drugs are not like a hot topic I want to hear somebody talking about anyway. You know, like you want to talk about you smoke weed, that's cool. If you're doing much more than weed, like I'm probably out on the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like no, and it's no offense. I can't rock with that stuff. I have too addictive of a personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, like that new hip hop vibe is just it depresses me, man. Straight up.
See, the other part with that line, like taking it for what it's worth, they like Lil Pump but hate Lil Wayne. That's a broad, you know, that's a pretty blank statement. But the biggest issue is Lil Pump is basically a mirrored image of Lil Wayne. He's trying to be Lil Wayne, and people like Lil Pump, but they can't stand Lil Wayne. So it's like, You can't like Lil Pump if you don't like Lil Wayne.
He does try to act like Lil Wayne too. I just thought about it because didn't he put the thing on Instagram or something after Lil Wayne had a picture with Trump? Like he put the thing like talking up Trump or something on
In
TikTok?
my opinion, all the Lils imitate Wayne. They all got tattoos galore. They're all rocking dreads. They're all trying to do the. I'm not saying Wayne mumble raps, but there's a couple songs where he's got a certain style where it's kind of hard to understand what he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like.
All except Lil Bow Wow, man. Shout out to the OG.
Yeah. But
hey.
I can't stand the Lils.
Geminator got it right. Don't forget the booty shaking in every shot, man. Straight up.
Yep.
Straight up.
For real.
Tater finally made it. She said she missed her bell. I saw Geminator J jumping in too. I see Highly Combustible too, checking in before bed. Appreciate you, man. Must be who Tom was talking about in Dear Rappers. Tom talks about a bunch in Dear Rappers. That's one of the things, like, that's why I respect, artists with a platform who aren't doing that stuff, like the Upchurches and the Toms and stuff like that. Like, I respect that. Because y'all actually going out and doing it right. Yeah. But really, outside of those, maybe a couple others that are newer, like, it's only underground artists that are playing real hip hop these days. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of watered down like radio shit.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people spreading like messages, just a lot of just because tracks.
I saw Dan jumped in too, said Tyler King, crew, how you doing? I'm doing good. I think Glyphic's doing good too. You called him King though.
Yeah, Mirrors by Lil Wayne is definitely an amazing song. Definitely an amazing song.
Yeah, Lil Wayne's dope. Like I said, I mean, it took me a long time, but when I finally warmed up to him, I finally opened up and like listened to what he was doing. I'm like, like, why am I knocking this dude? Because he's still coming. Yeah, it's got that wheezy, that screechy sound. Yeah, but it's like that's also like his voice. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, it's what makes Lil Wayne Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I mean, to be fair, it's not like he's throwing a bunch of effects on there to get to that point. Like that.
That's him. If you hear him talk, that's his voice. Like,
yeah, listen to man talk. It sounds like he smoked 50 packs, like right before he has the conversation. I love Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne don't give a damn. Like Lil Wayne will talk.
Yep.
So I'm trying to remember the name of the song. We checked it out a while back. Let me look over here for a minute. We had listened to one a while back, and you were talking about where you grew up. You were talking about the area you were from. Like you were going in depth on some things from your background. Let me look through your catalog for a second. Was it affecting me? It wasn't affecting me, was it?
It's a good question.
Let me see here. No, it was. I'm sorry because I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the art right there. So tell me a little bit behind that song, because I know at the time, like you had just started rocking with us. I was listening to the song. I didn't know a ton about you.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that song, man. Tell me about the background, like the actual real background you're from and everything. What pushed you?
So basically, where I grew up is basically in the hood. Your house is all run down. You got roaches, you know what I'm saying? Single mom, 5 kids, vehicle's a piece of shit. It literally the slum life. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like growing up in that environment, it's like you automatically have a label put on you that you're gonna fail. You'll never succeed. You know what I'm saying? And coming from that environment, it was like, that's where the hook come from. I never heard I'm sorry. I never heard it's not my fault. And I never thought it was funny. I was shunned by default. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's exactly where that comes from. Like anybody who grows up in the hood, nobody apologizes to us for what we've been through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's where that came from. And then I just touched base throughout the track, just on different things that I saw growing up as a kid, different things that I went through, different experiences. So I try to touch into my early years a lot in my music, just to put basically to give perspective of where I come from and what I've been through. So
yeah, I think honestly, I think that song was when I really started to rock with you, because I was like, listening to that song, I was like, all right, dude's talking about being from like a shithole. Like I'm from a different kind of a shithole, but like Southeast Kentucky, growing up in poverty in the sticks ain't that different than growing up in poverty in the city. Really, it's just
poverty's poverty.
yeah, the background image looks different, but all the details look the same. You know, like you don't matter. Nobody's apologizing. Nobody really. Government says it's coming in to help you. They ain't helping you. They ain't doing nothing for you.
No.
But yeah, like I remember listening to that one on, and I think we had the conversation in the you were in the chat because it was on a Thursday, but I think we still kind of had the conversation a little bit. You know, I'm a more conservative dude. I'm a libertarian, but I'm still, you know, I'm a more conservative dude. You kind of, you know, you kind of gave some things. I think some people were giving some more liberal views, but I said, you know, the funny thing, when you stop yourself and don't put yourself in a corner or put a label on it or something, it's hilarious how we're all saying the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
if you were to take everybody, like everybody who's in poverty, no matter what state, what country, everyone who's in poverty, if you were to take like their image away and literally just put their story on paper, you'd probably amaze yourself how many stories almost perfectly align with each other.
Yeah. Well, and that's the funny thing to me too. Because I want to say too, there was a line in that song, that brought, you know, we talked about race for a brief minute in the in the chat that day, and that was one of the things that you know I really wanted to focus on out of that song is like look at when it really comes down to it, like that's something that keeps us arguing, but that's not something that really exists. You know what I'm saying? There is not that divide. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not that just natural hatred because I'm this color, you're that color. It's so on and so forth. Like that can't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell everybody that I'm friends with or know, racism isn't. You're not born racist.
No,
you're taught to be racist.
Yeah, you are taught the 100%. Honestly,
when you're a child, like you are 100% innocent. You don't see color. Mm-hmm. You don't see size, shape. Like you're trying to be loved. Every human is trying to be loved. That's what every human wants and searches for. That's literally what it is. Mm-hmm. So the hatred is what makes this country so
divided.
Yeah, I guess that's a good word for it.
Well, I don't know if you had a chance to stop by last Friday. I was talking to Kelvin J, and that's a pretty big core part of his message because you know he's a black conservative rapper. Mm-hmm. And you know that's a big part of his thing is you know pointing out that really the hatred isn't natural, and so we talked on that for a little bit. But you know the funny thing, and this is what I brought up to him. You know the funny thing that everybody ignores, the people who want to stick on racism and hatred and all that stuff, they're such a minority that if we would just stop talking about them in every headline, like it would be dead today. You know what I mean?
That's like. I say the same thing with bullying, with mumble rappers, with racism, with all that shit.
Yeah.
Literally, if you want it to go away, don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. We could just be living our lives and all that stuff disappears. You know what I'm saying?
Like if you don't feed into it, there's nothing to feed into.
Yep. Geminator threw out that he has your email and he's working on something and also said maybe we can work together in the future. Yeah, I'm sure you're up for it.
For sure.
So if you don't know, Geminator's making some dope beats lately. I mean, he has really been stepping that game up. We've been watching him. I'm sure you've heard a couple of the beats.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's bringing it around. I see my boy Buddha Slim is in the chat too. What up, Buddha Slim reaction channel? If you haven't checked out Glyphic 302 King, man, you need to be throwing him on sometime. My man is straight fire. I don't know if you caught the beatbox remix that we caught a minute ago, but definitely show my man some love. My man is just amazing, like for real.
Much appreciated, man.
And he's got a great wardrobe choice, if you can't tell. Let's see. Everybody over on Buddha right now saying hello, showing some love. Let's see. Buddha is going to be in Mises' new video tomorrow. I saw Buddha put that picture on Instagram earlier. That was dope. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not skipping anything. I know Gabe had asked the question in the chat a minute ago.
Fun fact, Buddha was actually one of my nicknames growing up.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever checked out Buddha Slim's reaction channel?
This is my first time even hearing of him, actually.
Yeah, definitely go check him out. He's an awesome dude, like a real dude, like a real awesome, like down to earth. Honestly, somebody I can have a conversation with, you know, I mean, reactors got to support each other, but
Yeah.
even outside of that support, like I'd show Buddha love all day, man. That's my boy right there. I'm trying to find. I know Gabe asked a question. I skipped over it and said I was going to come back to it in my head. Let's see, but I can't find. There it is. What is Glyphic's goal in music? Underground name, hitting mainstream audiences, eventual producer. What are you looking to get? Where are you looking to go?
So my goal with my music, it's actually literally really simple. My goal is just to be able to relate to people who can relate to me. Yeah. I want to be able to get my message out and help people who have been through what I've been through and maybe don't necessarily know how to find the words to describe what they're feeling or what they're going through.
Right.
So that's basically it. I'm just trying to translate who I am to tracks and have people vibe with that. As far as hitting mainstream audiences, honestly, my biggest goal, if I ever make it to mainstream, my biggest goal is to stay me. Like, there's so many people who get to mainstream and then their style, their personality, their morals, everything changes. Yep. Everything. You know, they don't even go back to their home state no more. Like, they go full on Hollywood. And I really, 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 really don't want that to happen to me at all. You know, if I can avoid that, I'm going to stay me till the end.
Yeah.
And as far as eventual producer, you know, I like, there's a lot of hot producers in the game right now. But eventually I would like to be able to 100% produce my own music, you know, beats, mix and master. As far as recording, you know, I'd like to be able to do all that.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, to be able to be 100% self-sufficient. Right.
So what does your team look like right now? I mean, because you're aiming to be 100% self-sufficient. You've talked. I heard you talking about your engineer earlier. What is that your team? I mean, do you have other people work? Like what?
That's the team, bro. It's me and the engineer. Right. I do everything else. I do my own promotion. I do my own recording. The thing that he does for me is he mixes and masters. Everything else is 100% me.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, Tater threw out right there. Tater threw out. I hope you go far, but also said your memorial for Ty is always going to have a place in my heart. And I'll say too, that is one of the most touching tracks that I've heard. God bless, Booty. You coming in throwing snacks out there, brother?
Going crazy.
Booty having a good day today. Appreciate you, brother, for real. But yeah, Tater saying she hopes you go far, but really shouting out that memorial, and that was a super touching track, man. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. So just like a little bit of backstory before the track. So my best friend Tyler, you know, a few years ago he went through a horrific accident where it left him paralyzed from the waist down. And Tyler was the kind of person, he never let anything defeat him at like anything. No matter what, and he was very religious. So no matter what, in his eyes, you know, God always had a plan. God always had an outcome in mind for whatever he was going through. Like what he was going through was nothing compared to what he was going to get to. You know what I mean? So he was big at preaching to me, you know, doing things for the love, not doing things for the money. He was big at preaching to me, you know, do things out of the genuine love of your own heart. Don't do it for malicious intent. Don't do it for lies. Don't do it for secrecy. Just be you. So, you know, Tyler, he rubbed that off on me, and then I was able to rub off on him, you know, with you being such a positive individual, with you being so lighthearted and everything, you should try doing music. So it was me and a couple of our other friends, you know, we got together with him and he started putting music out. So naturally, you know, us being brothers, he was like, you know, now that I'm getting to a point where I'm comfortable with it and everything, he was like, we definitely got to kill something. We got to kill something. And I was, of course, I'm down for it. You know, I'm like, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Anytime. Just let me know. And, you know, whenever he had something for me or I had something for him, it just never seemed to work out. Like one of us was busy or one had something to do or we didn't like whatever the beat was, you know, it was always something. So then last year he passed away unexpectedly.
Yeah.
and we didn't have a chance to make the track. So, you know, heart bleeding and my mind in different places, I was just like, if not anything else, that's the least that I owe to him. Like, that's the least I can do for him. You know, like I felt him when I was in the booth recording that. I felt him speaking through me, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
it's almost like I wasn't even the one who made that song.
Yeah.
And so that's how that all basically played out.
Yeah, and I get that too. I mean, that shows through in the song a lot too, because I mean, it feels, it's some emotion. That's one thing. You know, we were talking earlier about your rotten style, how you're bringing those bars in and everything. That one's not even focusing on bars. Like, you legit just told a story in that, and I appreciate that, man. Because like, knowing when, you know, there's a time to be flashy with the wordplay and everything, and then there's a time where you just got something you got to say.
Yep, for sure.
And I appreciate that, man. I respect that song. I really do. Let's see. Buddha got to head up. I appreciate you stopping by, brother. What were you saying now?
That's like I was saying the other day when we were on the live stream with my first project, Stitch with Good Intentions. That's what I was saying. Even though that project, that's probably my most like wholesome, heartfelt project so far. But I felt like I sacrificed a lot of the potential in that album, because I was trying to pour my heart into the album, but also prove to people that I could be lyrical.
Yeah.
So I sacrificed a lot of the emotion and what potential could have been for areas where I was trying to add extra words or add extra schemes, and, you know, where I should have been just more fundamental and just put what I was trying to put, you know what I'm saying? Say what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I've came a long way from that aspect to where I know there's a time to be lyrical and then there's a time to just say what needs to be said.
Yep. Right on. Looking through, I think there were a couple more questions in here for you, but question I have real quick, because I can see your studio phone behind you. I mean, you got a pretty solid soundproofing going on right there. So what all do you use? Do you record, like, do you have all your equipment, or do you go to a studio? Yeah. I think you record at home, right?
It's all right here. I got my mic right here next to me.
Right on.
So I've got my monitors around the room, got all my soundproofing. I'm on my computer currently. Nice. Got my audio interface is just right above my computer, so I just lock in right here and do my thing.
So out of personal curiosity, what kind of interface and mic are you using?
So the interface that I have, I need to upgrade, but it's the Focusrite. I'm not sure which model it is, but it's a Focusrite. My mic, I love my mic. It's the Rode NT A1. Mm-hmm. It's the same mic that Postcard uses. That's how I actually determined to use this mic. He was the one who put me onto that.
How you settled on it?
Yep, he's the one who put me onto this computer too. So I've got a few people who have, in a sense of a way, mentored me a little bit along the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, just kind of like pointed me in the right direction. And I'm eternally grateful for it, you know.
Man, I feel like you gotta have that. You gotta have the people around you that are pointing somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I've had numerous conversations with people who are at my level or even lower, and I'm just like, you know, when you're out here by yourself just trying to do something, it's so hard to figure out which direction you're supposed to go or who you're supposed to appeal to. It's like, yeah, I'm putting my music out, but nobody's hearing it. Like, so, you know, like, for example, like with the Beatbox remix, the people who have heard it think it's absolute flames, but it literally has like 200 views.
Yeah. So
it's like, you know, with me being the one pushing the promotion and everything, where did I go wrong? So like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, one thing that is cool now, I don't know if you've checked it out, and I'm not saying this to plug myself at all. No, but have you checked out Indie Amplify? Because it is awesome.
I've looked at it a few times off your recommendation. I've been on there looking at, like, there's different features, there's different people you can buy reactions from, and I definitely plan to use it in the near future for sure.
Because I mean, and I don't just say this as somebody who makes money off of Indie Amplify,
right?
I mean, even though that's nice, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, of course.
But I am saying, like, it is an awesome resource for independent artists. Like I legit, I have plugged it to I plugged it to Mises. Like legit, it's just such a good resource, a good tool, because I mean, I was making music back in the MySpace music days. You know what I'm saying? Like back in 2006 and stuff.
Right.
We didn't have any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of networking and stuff, it was like put it up and your friends are going to see it. And then anybody that you get that's outside of your circle is going to be like, if you're standing out in front of Hastings, like slinging your CD at them, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, like there's just too many resources not to at least use all of them in some capacity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, and this is no disrespect to any artist out there, I respect anybody's grind, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people nowadays are trying to be artists just because they feel like it's super easy to make it with the way that social media is today. Like, and it is true. If you look at TikTok, it's a perfect example. So many people have taken off on TikTok from one video, and there are people that have, I was looking, like, for example, American Idol. This dude just auditioned the other day. He's literally been singing for like 6 months. He went viral on TikTok and decided, hey, let's go to American Idol. I'm like, he's been making music for 6 months.
Oh my God.
Come on.
he might be a prodigy, man. He might have been born with it. Come on, man.
I don't know, man, but that's what I mean. Like, I just feel like so many people just want to make music just to make it. You know what I mean?
It's like that, especially with YouTube. Like, look at the number of bums on YouTube doing reaction channels that aren't reacting to anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a reaction channel. Don't get it twisted. It might get you some exposure, but if I'm just throwing on your song, bumping with it, and I never say a word about what you're doing, what you're saying, that's not a reaction. Like, yeah, you might see my reaction. Like, it's a reaction in the sense that you can see my reaction. But I mean, come on now. And you know, to me personally, I looked at it. I've been in one way, shape, or form for at least 20 years. I've been involved with music, whether it's hip hop, whether it's rock, whether it's, you know, doing the drums, doing the production work, mixing, mastering, whatever the case may be. For the past 20 years, I've been involved with music. I've been involved with other things too. Like, it's never been like my primary job or anything, you know, but like, and I always try to use that when I'm doing a reaction. You know, some guys just really want to focus in on what they're hearing out of the lyrics and stuff. That's fine. Talk about something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
even if it's just like a sentence or a bar or two that you point out, and you're just like, make a relation to the track. That's what I tell people who have reacted to my music. I've had a few reactors ask me, you know, how do you feel as though I personally could react to your music better? And I was like, honestly, relate to the track, make a relation. If you can pick something out of the track and say, you know, you don't have to spew on for 10, 15 minutes, but make like a quick relation where you're like, yo, you know, I went through this time where, you know, da. So yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying right there.
Yeah.
You know, people like that because the artist is telling their story, the reactor's telling their story. It's interesting.
Well, that's promotion, you know, that's what I'm about. But I bring that up to say, I mean, like, the reactor landscape is so oversaturated too. You know, talking about people look at being a musician, being a reactor, you know, putting something music related on YouTube as that easy way to get rich quick. It's not, though. When you actually start on it, when you're actually doing it justice, you know, showing some integrity in what you're doing and everything, it is harder than people are giving it credit for. You know what I mean? For sure.
I mean, like I said, look at me. I've been doing it for a little over 2 years, and I've got not even 200 subscribers on YouTube. And that's pure natural grind. Like, I'm not out here blowing up everybody's inbox. I'm not out here, you know, I don't know, trying to make viral videos on TikTok. I'm not even really on TikTok. That's just me literally making a song, putting it on all social medias and saying, hey, could you check this out?
Yeah.
And I guess in a way, that's basically my fault because I should be pushing harder and more promoting my music, but I can't stand being that guy who's in everybody's inbox like, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I don't like being that guy either, and that's the thing, and that's where, you know, I was having a conversation with some of the bigger supporters in the community and stuff the other day. You know, we were all kind of talking about, you know, what we have and everything, and what I realized is realistically, like this team, this community, we have a friggin' record label. You know what I mean? Like we have graphic designers, we
There's
have
everybody in here, producers, rappers.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's everything in here.
Yeah. And like that eye opener, you know, thinking about versus 15 years ago, what I would have killed for in that MySpace music age, you know, like thinking about that now, it's like we got people doing the graphic design. We've got, you know, merch options. We've got like producers, we've got engineers, we've got beat makers, we got artists. Like we've got people hitting all those boxes. It's crazy to look around at the kind of sense of community that we've got now. But that's one thing I'll say, man, because you've been rocking with us since, I think you found us through J-Law. I think J-Law told you to come in, right?
Yep.
And J-Law
told me, he was like, because J-Law is one of the people who reacts to my music, and he was like, I know that you're looking for new, you know, communities and platforms to get your name and music out on. He was like, the Alpha community is one community that you definitely want to be in. Yeah. So the first time you went live, I popped in and I was like, yo, you know, what do I need to do to get? And you were like, well, you know, I'll throw it on there, but if you want to make it to the top of the list, you know, the super chat. And I was like, all right, bet. Ow. Yeah. Play that. Let's see what happens. And from there, it's been all love.
Yeah.
And all love.
I love J-Law too. I got to shout out him real quick.
Because J-Law is definitely a great guy, man. He's definitely a deserving artist. I feel like he's just like me. We're down at the bottom and we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure every artist feels that way, but it is what it is.
Well, it is what it is. But I mean, one thing I'll say, you know, for guys like you, for guys like J-Law, I mean, anything that I can ever help you with, like, I'm gonna do it. Or anybody I know, like I said, I mean, we got a lot of resources in the community. I'm sure anybody in the community is down to link up. I mean, Geminator's dying to get you on one of his beats.
Yeah, I just seen that. I know he was saying something the other day in the live. We were talking about making something happen.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely down for sure.
So Geminator did say a little bit back. He said, since I was 5, I always wanted to give people something to enjoy, forget about the real world for a minute, kick back, open a brewski, let them create their own music message from the melodies.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about. And I'll tell you too, when you listen to Geminator's beats, like he is legit. Like there is a sense of feeling in his beats. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like he threw on some 808s and then played some keys over top of it and then threw it out there, you know? Which, you know, I may or may not have been guilty of doing a few times.
Right. Oh, give me 1 second, man.
All right, you good? Talking about that's why so many people. Hey, Buddha called it out too earlier while Glyphic's stepping away for a minute. 100%. Don't forget, Mises is coming with a new track tomorrow. We'll be doing a reaction to it. Shane got that. Yep. Let's see. Heard you worked your magic on that video. Oh, y'all still talking about that Mises video. This is how far behind I am in the chat. It is. Give me a head. Figure out the day. Can get it. Oh, Rednecks, you still around here trying to figure out how to get your live stream going? Let's see. Good to have people. Hey, that's what I'm saying right there. It is good to have people in the community to turn to advice. And I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, y'all know, like I turn to you guys a ton. I mean, I have zero issues about saying, you know what, like I'm figuring this YouTube thing out, but I don't always know the best way to go or the best answer and stuff. And I'm like,
and it's good to be able to say that, to be able to be a person where you can say, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, so many people just are so prideful and so, you know, righteous that they're just like, no, I got this. I'll figure it out. Like, man, you don't have the answers to everything. And if somebody else can help you, somebody who's been there and done it, listen.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. I feel you. Let's see. Geminator dreaming about beats and beer at 5 years. Canadian boss, baby. Oh man, let's see. J-Law's the man. Speaking of J-Law, so J-Law's actually been like he'd been focused on some other things lately, but he's still around. Don't worry. Like J-Law has not abandoned us. I still hear from him. I think he's just a little bit busy right now. He is an amazing dude. You're just listening, don't do rap. Not sure what to ask you, Glyphic. Tater, not a big rap fan.
It doesn't have to be anything with rap. You can ask me anything. I'm not, I don't have like a big wall on my personal life. You know what I mean? Like, just because you see Glyphic doesn't mean Glyphic is all you get. You know what I mean?
Hey, by the way, were you here the other day when I showed Tater's daughter actually did me some designs for a new T-shirt I'm about to drop out? Were you still here when I showed those the other day?
I don't think I was.
Check this out, man. Maybe something to keep in mind once you start looking at some merch options and stuff.
I actually have merch already.
Well, if you start looking for some
always open a new merch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see here. Let me find this thing. I don't know where it went. It disappeared on me.
Always got to have new designs,
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. So for some reason, I thought it would open differently, but it's not opening differently for me right now. So I guess I'll share these separately. So this is one of my new T-shirts that's about to come out. That's the back of it.
Okay.
It's the Tater Tots and Body Shots T-shirt.
Yep.
And then for the front, let me stop that one. Share this other one.
What up, JB?
Oh hell. Apparently, I can only have one PDF screen sharing through here at a time. Okay. Well, there's the front of it either way.
Okay, there you go.
Got that AlphaTyler logo mixed in with the taters and stuff, you know?
That's dope. That's dope.
So I'm just saying, be looking for it, man. But you know, if you're in the market for some designs, I mean, talking about all the resources in the community and stuff, man, we got that dope new Tater Tots and Body Shots design about to come out.
Hell yeah.
Let's see, designs are legit. Yes, they are, sir. Yes, sir, they are. I'm trying to get through. I know I had some more questions I wanted to bring up. The chat always distracts me, man. Like the chat always pulls me away. I come in, I'm like, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. And then the chat always pulls me in a different direction at some point.
Nah, it's all good. So I got a recommendation. I don't know if you'd be interested or not.
Okay.
You want to try going all the way back and playing the very first song on my YouTube to give people an idea where I came from?
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. Is it Childhood Endeavors?
Yes, sir. Yeah, PFV is actually on the first song I ever put out.
Let's see here. All right, let me pull that up. Let's see. You want to play it through? Let's just listen to it, or
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Fine. Just beware. This is Glyphic years ago.
Glyphic years ago, son. All right. Let me put on my Sirius reactor headphone things.
Hey, you remember the DJ part? You gotta have one on, one off.
Yeah, you gotta be hitting it like a DJ. I did that the other night. What was it? I was doing the throwing it on like that, and I threw some shade at other DJs saying I don't understand why they act like their ears are that important, and I got bit in the chat. Like some people were upset at me for that statement. Listen, for real though, like, and that's just my personal preference for future reference, because I'll be live streaming that set on May 1st. So you guys will see me, you know, as an actual DJ. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, like, I'm not the guy who throws one ear off every few seconds, because in my mind, I know what I'm doing. I know what's coming out of my speakers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, I don't need to because I get, you know, some people do it so that over here they can hear what's coming out of the speakers. Over here, over here they can hear their mix. Yeah. But I mean, I know my equipment and everything. I know what's coming out of my speakers. Yeah. So I mean, like for me, it's all about hearing what I've got queued up to come into the mix or testing out. And really, like most of the time, I'll just, if I need to hear what's coming out of the speakers, I just take them off altogether. Yeah. And then I go back and forth. But I mean, it's a personal preference thing, you know, like. So understand when I make fun of other DJs with one ear, I'm joking. Like, yeah, I mean, whatever they got to do to get their thing going, I'm gonna do my thing. They can do theirs. Like, no hate from me.
Sure. For sure.
Let's see here. Let me get that screen share going. Share screen. Chrome tab. Glyphic featuring PFV. Childhood Endeavors. Share audio. Boom. I'm gonna mute my mic so it doesn't cut into the audio coming out.
Yeah, you're good.
Let's get it. I will endeavor not to pause, but I can't promise I'm not going to pause.
No, you're good, man. If you want to pause, you can pause. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm just saying, because Kelvin last week, like we played one of his new songs and we were listening to it for a minute, and I was like, nah, man, I got to talk about this for a minute. Like,
yeah, nah, you're good, man.
All right.
This life is so hard. This life is so cool. I do everything I can for you.
So let me ask something right off the bat. Was that intentionally mixed that low? Because I couldn't really understand what was there. Okay.
Yeah, so it was so just a little backstory. Because this is the first song I ever put out, you know, I basically wanted to be able to think that I could sing.
Yeah.
And, so I did at the time PFV was my engineer. So I did the whole track and I sent it to him. And he was like, bro, he was like, you can't sing on this beat in that tone. Like, he was like, the beat is in this tone. You need to be in that tone. And I'm like, I tried it again. And he's like, nah, that's still not it. I tried it again. He's like, that's still not it. I'm like, damn it, dude. I'm like, well, how much for you to sing that shit? So that was how that went. So I basically did like a little intro thing. And then he did the hook from there to the end.
Okay. I was just wondering where it was at, because I know that a lot of times there can be a reason for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know though if that was one of those, because I know this was your first song and we're looking at where you came from. So I was like, I don't know if that was just inexperience or if that was on purpose.
PFV mixed it like that because I couldn't sing.
That's awesome. Oh, all right, let's go.
How many of you have watched your mother?
There's a skip in there.
How many of you have watched your mother?
All right, that threw me off.
Beat on by your brother, squeezing a quarter from a dime when she don't have a nickel. Putting food on the table, hoping the pain doesn't trickle down to her kids who are innocent to life, having no idea how much their mamas gotta fight to make ends meet and make everything alright, to keep the electric on for just one more night.
Ah, man, like I'm still with it though. Like you were talking about, let's look at how far I came. Like I like the wordplay there with the you know, talking about the quarter, the nickel, and the dime, like going around, you know, all those things, like relevant words. You know, I mean, coming off, I guess one of those things, if that you're probably looking at, that you look at is well, could I have done something better than the word trickle? I don't know what you're looking at when you're coming back to it. I still think, I mean, it's got that solid foundation though, that I know that you grew into with the wordplay and everything. And I mean, that was a good one. I mean, we start off, you know, talking about squeezing out of that quarter, you know, making it stretch, making it last as far as you can, talking about how hard she works to keep the electricity on and everything. I'm still with this. I'm about this. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. A lot of, when I look back at some of the earlier songs that I've done, my big thing is not so much like words that I could have changed, but my delivery. I don't like my delivery from my earlier stuff.
Your timing is definitely off here. Well, not off. Let me rephrase.
Weird. It's like almost like it's like a, I don't know. It's like a different style from what you've heard.
Well, you've got. I'm gonna make us bigger while we talk about this for a second. I'm not gonna stop sharing. We'll get back to it in a second. But what I do notice in the delivery here is that you're bouncing on the beat more. Like you're writing to different points on the beat more, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like your style now is more. You know, I mean, you're picking one spot on the beat right now, and you're riding off of it every time. And you might do something different. But like if you're going off the 808s, like you're going there.
Yeah.
And then you're building from that. Whereas here, like you'll go from the 808, like your next word might be on the snare. Like it's still rhythmic. Like you're still doing it, but you're doing it different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so I feel that. I feel kind of getting on yourself over that because I mean, especially when you change up, like it's not going to sound the same to you.
Not at all.
I mean, I still personally enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's just it's crazy, like to hear yourself from like 3-4 years ago. It's like, what the hell was I doing?
Bro, like I found a cassette tape with my first album that I put out, that I recorded.
Yep.
And that thing is right now 15 years old, 16 years old. Yeah, it's 16 years old. And I put it on play one day because I was thinking like I was gonna digitize it and like upload some of those tracks and stuff. I played it the other day. I was like, hell no, man, that thing is staying dead where it belongs. Like, damn, man.
That's how I feel about a lot of my first project. I'm like, man, what in the fuck was I doing?
Yeah.
Even though it's like it's wholesome music, it's all heartfelt. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where I was at on this one because I was like, this is cool as hell. Like I'll share this with the community and everything. I listened to a couple of the tracks. I was like, nope. Like and I mean the way I recorded it too, like it's old school. It's where you play like the beat on something and you got the tape. You got the tape recorder over here. You're recording like yourself in the middle of them. I'm like, no, that's staying with me. Oh man, let's check this song out though.
All right.
Me and make everything all right to keep the electric on for just one more night. Squeezing 6 people in a 3-bedroom trailer, trying to keep us all calm so she won't look like a failure. And all she ever wanted was for us to be good. Locked the door when she left because we lived in the hood.
Listen, man, I gotta tell you, I gotta pull up my app too that controls my mic because I can't keep waiting until I get over into StreamYard to unmute. I gotta tell you, like to me, like I said, going back to all them things that we talked about, like this track, I'm with Shanester. Like it's taking me back to my childhood. There's so much nostalgia in this, thinking about like what my parents made work just to put food on the table. Or just to keep like, you know, I always had shoes, I always had clothes and stuff. It might not have been like the nicest things or whatever, but like thinking about like especially my dad when I was younger, you know, after my parents split, like what my dad was doing and what my dad went through to keep us all taken care of and everything, like it's insane, man. Like this story right here, I know you said your delivery changed up and you know it's tough for you to listen to kind of how you were writing there, but I'm loving it, man.
No, it's all good, man. I'm glad you vibing with it.
Let's see here. All right, let's jump back.
Deals on the corner, street fights under the lights, tossing back and forth because of gunshots in the night, struggling to pay attention when I was in school because where I'm from, being smart isn't cool.
There it is. All right, yeah. So I see too, like the timing right there, and that's what I want to call out. Like that timing. I mean, for anybody that's not hearing what he's talking about in the delivery, how the delivery's changed, I'm positive you would never hear this delivery right here in this section from Glyphic today, you know?
Never.
Because and that's the thing, because it's a little bit more chopped up, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how it comes across, and it sounds fine, like it's got that underground sound. But this right here, for everybody in the chat, this is what he's talking about with the delivery and stuff when he's talking about like the pieces that he wouldn't be doing now.
Just the overall growth from then to now, basically.
Yeah.
To pay attention when I was in school because where I'm from, being smart isn't cool.
It's like that long that because like when you're going that way, you know how it stretches that.
Yeah, instead of filling in the words, I was stretching syllables because I didn't know how to fill the spaces, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
wanted to highlight that for anybody.
Fun fact about this hook: PFV actually gave me a discount on the hook because I wrote it. This was the hook that I was trying to sing over and over and over again, and I just couldn't get it. And he's like, well, dude, since you wrote it, I'll just give you a discount. He's like, I'll sing it, but I'll just use your words.
Right on. Hey, what up? We were just talking about J-Law earlier. Look at that. J-Law saying he's late, but he made it. What up, hey? What up, J-Law?
What up, J-Law?
All right, let's get back into this track.
This life is so hard. This life is so cruel. I do everything I can. This life is so rough. Sometimes it's not enough. I'm just saying I love you. I know we can make it through.
Yo, PFE killed that hook for real.
Dude, he murdered that hook. That is what I wanted to sound like.
That's what you thought you sounded like, right? Like,
for real, when I sent it to him, I'm like, man, I killed that shit, dog. And man, he messes me back and he was like, listen, you're gonna have to take this back and redo it because it's not hitting, it's not right. And I'm like, man, you do that shit. And then he sends that back, and I'm like, well, shit. Now I see why you said I couldn't do it.
that's when you get it back and you're like, man, like I thought I sounded like this until I heard how this actually sounds, and now I'm like, I've had those moments, man. No shame.
We would have cereal without any milk. Our bed sheets weren't exactly made of silk. Eating the same dinner night after night. Power goes off using candles as light. Same beat up band for 15 years. Car broke down, got mama in tears. Wondering how she's gonna get to work with nothing to her name but her fucking shirt. I don't understand why life's so hard. In a split second, fake and pull your card. Me and my siblings, we aren't that close. We got hit with reality, a deadly dose. It tore us apart, didn't pull us together. Hopefully we won't be impacted forever. I wanna build a bond, solid and tight, so we'll always have each other at the end of the night.
This life is so hard. This life is so cruel. I do everything I can for you. This life is so rough. Sometimes it's not enough. I'm just saying I love you. I know we can make it through.
all right, man. So that was Childhood Endeavors, and that was Glyphic's first song on YouTube from 4 years ago, featuring PFV. I'm gonna tell you, man, like the thing, I get where Glyphic's coming from, you know, with the delivery has evolved and all that, but let me tell you, man, listening to that song, though, the story is just so powerful. And like I said, I mean, I think it hits me a little bit harder. It hits Shane a little bit harder. Shane's from a similar area to where I'm from. Shane ain't from that far away from me. And so, I mean, I'll tell you, like in this region, like that's a story that goes out, you know what I'm saying? Just like in your area, that's a story that resonates and stuff. I mean, I was listening to you talking about locking the doors because you don't know if it's safe and everything, you know, like, you know, I mean, going through like real talk, people coming in just looking for something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, but I was listening through that last piece, you know, you're talking about not being that close, and yeah, I mean, the delivery's off and everything, but you guys know, like, I don't beat up if I've already called out something that's like, I don't beat up just because like it's happening throughout a song. I'm listening to the rest of it at that point. We've already talked about that. Yeah. And just the story, I mean, even through that second verse, I mean, just the story that you're bringing, like, you know, getting hit with that dose of reality. Now, what was the deadly dose of reality we're talking about? Let me ask that.
So my oldest brother and my oldest sister have a separate father from me and one of my brothers and one of my sisters. Yeah. So there's three of us with the same dad, and the oldest two have a separate dad. Well, my father molested all my brothers and sisters as well as myself. Yeah. So we got hit with reality, a deadly dose. Yeah. Basically, it tore us all apart. Me and my brothers and sisters don't have good relationships because we don't know how to have a good relationship. Right. You know, it's like they should be some of the strongest people in my lives, and yet I feel like I can't turn to them. Like we're not. There's nothing close knit about us.
What kills that trust? I mean, you know, I can't relate to that, but
it's not so much trust. I just feel like we have so many demons in our closets that we feel like if we finally get close enough, they're gonna come out, and we can't deal with them. If that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like instead of trying to build like the ultimate relationship and getting it all out in the open, we just kind of avoid each other and let it be what it is. Yeah. And it's not healthy, but I guess it's worked for us for so long. We just, it's all love. We go to family functions and shit like that, but I don't have not a single one of my brothers or sisters that I talk to on a daily basis or, vent to or any of that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I hate to hear that, but like I understand too. I mean, some issues with my sister's dad, like we don't have a good relationship to this day just because of issues he and I had when I was 16, 17. When she was younger on, like, I mean, I had to get out of the house. I had to get away from him and stuff. And because of that, like, we never clicked in that relationship. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I can feel that, but I mean, I do think it's crazy. Like I said, I mean, the storytelling, that's the impressive part. Like the storytelling, you've kept the storytelling, like looking at the storytelling there versus the storytelling you got in that tribute to Ty. Like it's amazing how you kind of kept that intact while growing on the delivery, while growing on like the wordplay and everything. Like fantastic to see how you've evolved, but I still love that song.
Yeah. And just to a credit to what you were saying with the whole locking the doors, because you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
When I wrote that line, so the craziest memory that I have that relates to that exact line, I was probably about 9 years old, and I use this story in a song coming up on my EP. So when I was 9 years old, my oldest sister, she was dating a guy named Donald, and this dude was fucking nuts. We still lived in the hood, and she was dating this dude Donald, but she had just broke up with her longtime high school sweetheart. Well, Donald found out about my sister and the dude because I guess they never fully cut it off. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Donald broke into our house in the middle of the night, and he held my mom at gunpoint. And he told my mom basically, like, tell me where she is or I'm going to kill you. Like, where is your daughter?
Wow.
I want her. And we legitimately didn't know where she was. So my mom was telling him, like, I don't know. I don't know where he is or where she is. I have no idea. She's not here. She's not here. And in my mind, it was crazy because at 9 years old, the only thing that I was thinking in my mind was, how the fuck can I get this gun from this dude and fucking kill him for threatening my mother?
Yeah, for real.
And so when I say with that line with the locked doors and never really knowing what's gonna happen, that's the first story that comes to my mind. So it's like that's what really hits home for me when I talk about locking doors and being secure. Like even today, I guess you could technically say I'm scared of the dark. It's not that I'm scared of the dark. It's like you never know what's lurking in places that you can't see. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I always have something on me, whether it's a gun, a knife, something. I always got something on me because you never know. And I've been through scenarios where I didn't have something to protect myself, and I was just left at the mercy of that person. And I don't care to be put in that situation again.
You got to make sure you always ready. That's what I go to, man. Like, I would rather have a gun, a knife, whatever, and not need it than need one and not have it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like that's what I always go back to for real. I saw Chris jumped up in here. I think we already said hey to J-Law. Let's see. I think Chris, y'all just picked up a little bit more active while we were going talking about the feels in that song and stuff. I like too. I mean, J-Law brought up a good point. That is a story that needs to be told cinematically, man. You gotta like that would be a powerful story to put in a music video if you ever decided to come back and do one, man. Like,
and I guess you never want to wait until it's quote unquote too late.
Yeah.
But my plan is, if I do ever make it even somewhat big, I don't even need to be like mainstream, quote unquote. But if I even like get to where I'm making thousands of dollars off my music, I plan to put out songs with music videos explaining everything that I've been through. I would even be down for like a whole documentary series on myself. You know what I'm saying? Because just like I said before, basically just to get my story out, to be able to relate to people who have been through what I've been through, but don't necessarily know how to process their emotions. And I'm not saying I'm the big number one advocator for processing emotions. I suck at it.
Yeah.
But at least if I can reach out to somebody else and help them process what they're going through, or maybe even they could help me process what I've been through, vice versa. That's all it's really about for me.
Right. No, I feel that. So let's see. Rational fear, legit reason to be scared of the dark. Yep. Feel that. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask a couple of the cheesy generic questions that everybody asks. And then I'm going to open it up and let some people jump in and ask some questions if they got it. But question number one, I got that I really always try to make it a point just to understand about people's music. Who would you say that your top influences are?
So not in any particular order. I'll say for accrediting, all right, so I'll do it this way. Instead of doing like an order or anything, to accredit lyricism, some of my biggest influencers are Eminem's probably one of my top influences for being lyrical.
Can't help that.
That man is a stupid genius with lyricism.
Yeah.
As well as Andre 3000. That man is amazing.
Yes. Andre does not get the love he deserves. Okay,
no. Andre 3 Stacks is a fucking amazing man. Fabulous is also an amazing lyricist. Yeah. That man is amazing. As far as just overall image, delivery, obviously I fuck with Pac. I fuck with Big. I fuck with Mobb Deep. I love Mobb Deep. DMX, I fuck with DMX. I love DMX. Shout out to DMX. Actually, I hope he pulls through what he's going through.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yeah. So that's a lot of my influence. And then see, my mom, I didn't get into hip hop until I was basically able to like discover music for myself, because my mom, she raised us on a lot of like slow jams and R&B shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where my singing side comes from. I love singing. I love music. I love songs. I love like Brian McKnight. There's so many fucking artists. Boys to Men, like Genuine, and even older than that, Teddy Pendergrass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people, like oldies that my mom used to raise me on, and that's what I originally come from, and that's why my lyricism started out as poems, because I was raised on love music. So the emotions that I felt, I would put into poems. And then one of the first artists that I discovered in hip hop was DMX. And that's where it started, because, like from his songs, Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone, like, but when he's talking about slipping and, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up, like all that. I'm like, bro, I resonate with this. Yeah. Like, damn, maybe I could do this. And that's how it all started. That's how I went from poems to lyrics, Right.
Right on. So that's some big influences. Who you listen to the most right now? Like what you got? Like, I don't know if you do Spotify, iTunes. I don't know what you got going on.
Spotify is my big thing. The artists that I've been listening to the most recently, I love Chris Brown. Chris Brown, in my opinion, is undefeated. He is easily the king of R&B. He's holding that shit down. He's held it down for years. Mm-hmm. So recently, Chris Brown, I've been fucking with NF. I fuck with Lil Baby a lot. I like Lil Baby a lot. G Herbo, I've been fucking with G Herbo. Yes, J-Law. Yeah, I've been fucking with J-Law. I was putting mainstream artists out there, but underground artists, man, the list is endless for underground art. That's just mainstream. Underground, I fuck with J-Law. I fuck with Yearbook, Massetti, Massa Man, fucking Ridge, myself. Yeah, J-Lo. Usher was a big part of my upbringing. Huge part of my upbringing, bro. But I would say that Chris Brown is over Usher. I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him. Chris, if you listen, Chris Brown is one of the only artists that I've heard that can put out like a 30, 40 song album and you fuck with every single song. There's not one song that comes on that you're like, skip that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I strive for. Eventually, I want to be able to put out, 15, 20, 25 track albums and people be like, that is a solid project. From start to finish, I fuck with it.
For some reason, every time I hear Chris Brown, I just think about Daniel Tosh when he was doing stand-up comedy. He was talking about Chris Brown assaulting Rihanna, and he's like it wasn't Chris Brown's fault. He was just shooting a music video, and Rihanna got too close. Have you seen those roundhouse kicks he's swinging in his videos? It's not funny, but it's funny, you know.
Yeah, he received a lot of heat for that situation. A lot of heat.
Yeah. I mean, justifiably, like you can't do that, you know.
No, not at all. I tell, especially, you know, with my upbringing, I don't advocate for violence against women whatsoever.
Nah, same here.
But at the same time, in the situation, Rihanna was hitting this man closed fist while he was driving.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm not saying it's right to hit women, but what the hell are you supposed to do? You know, you getting your ass, you getting punched in your face while you driving.
Yeah,
man.
Plus, Rihanna seems like she knows how to scrap. Like, I'm just saying, like,
Rihanna seemed like a feisty lady. Rihanna seemed feisty.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel that. All right. Well, I'm real interested in like your personal taste there, because like that's not really what I was expecting. I mean, going down the Usher, going down the Chris Brown and everything, because I mean that's more poppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yep. Yeah. See, a lot of people don't expect that from me. They're like, you know, who are your influence? Because if you listen, like my beatbox remix, it's not hardcore rap, but it's rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people are like, well, when they say who are your influencers, and when I say, you know, DMX, Mobb Deep, Andre 3 Stacks, and all that, then it starts making sense. But then when you say, when I tell people I was raised on love music, they're like, what?
Yeah.
Where?
Andre, man, I just love Andre as an all-around musician, though. I'm so glad you said Andre's name, because Andre, to me, like, it ain't even just about like what he did with rap, because I mean, don't get me wrong, and I've always been a huge Outkast fan, like loved Outkast, love Big Boy too. Shout out to Big Boy. But Andre, to me, Andre was just like he was always so much more than a rapper, because I mean, even if you look at like Speaker Box and The Love Below, because I mean, he just went like Big Boy kept it hip hop on his half of that album. Like you listen to Andre's and it's like this bipolar mesh of like just weird experimental stuff, and I'm there for it, man. Like I love it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's important as an artist. Like, yeah, I'm a rapper, but don't be surprised if one day you see me step out of my element a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's important to broaden your spectrum. You know, it's like, like for example, one of my biggest things is DaBaby. I feel like DaBaby, you know, he found a style of rap that works for him, and that's great. But now that's all he does.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It sells millions. If you're selling, cool, run with it. But you know, eventually people are going to get tired of the same sound, the same delivery, the same message. You know, you got to keep it different. You got to keep it interesting. You got to keep attention captivated.
I don't honestly listen to a lot of mainstream artists these days. I mean, I do when I'm DJing and stuff, but I mean, personally listening to, like, I don't listen to a lot of mainstream stuff, but I listen to mostly like some underground dudes and stuff. But I got a lot of respect for guys like Scheme. I mean, Scheme, like if you look at his music, I mean, he's all over the place too. And I think more these days, it's about being an all-around artist. It's about being more than just a rapper, more than just a singer. You know what I'm saying? Like so much of it, you can't back yourself into a corner and make realistic music these days.
Yeah, and that's like we were touching base the other day on the live. I was saying, I feel like rap is one of the hardest genres to stay relevant in.
Yeah, it is.
Once you become relevant, it's so hard to stay relevant, because I feel like hip-hop goes through so many phases so quickly.
Yep.
You know, like what's popping today is not going to be popping next week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you got to be able to grab that curve, stay ahead of the curve.
You get a flash in the pan for real. Like it's just like, speaking of what's popping today is what's not what's popping the next day. What's popping? Look how big of a pop What's Popping got. Like everybody was remixing it. Everybody was playing it. Like it. Yeah. I mean, it went out everywhere. But now you don't even hear about it like that. Like that, it's like, yeah, there were a couple of remixes that were cool. Jack Harlow, you know, I mean, he was cool for a minute, but now it's like,
Yep.
But
That's a perfect example. It's like I said, something that's hot today isn't going to be hot next week. You've always got to be changing something. You got to be innovative. Like if you don't captivate people's attention, you're going to lose it. And especially in 2021, that's one of the biggest things that I don't like. How especially rap music has gone to 2 verses instead of 3 verses.
Yes.
And I hate it because the only reason why rap has gone to 2 verses is because people can't pay the fuck attention.
Yep.
Their attention span is so short, they don't want to hear a song for 3 verses. It's
gotten to 3 verses, and the other big thing, and I'll even say like some people do it well. Like Mises don't use hooks a whole lot in his music, and that's fine. Like I enjoy it. But the other thing is,
as long as you can run that,
yeah. But the other thing is, a lot of people are leaning on just no hooks, like just an instrumental here, like where they let the beat play for a minute or something like that, and then they come back into it, and it's like.
And me, I love hooks. I love hooks.
Well, that's the song. Like if you don't have a song, you're gonna have to understand. If you don't have a hook, you're gonna have to understand that your song is not gonna get traction. Like unless it's just an amazing song, most of the time it's gonna fall flat because that hook is what hooks people in. Like that's what catches people's attention, gets stuck in their head. What you doing?
If you were to think,
hang on 1 second.
You're good. Facts, J-Law. Got to keep it real, bro. Love lyrical rap.
My wife just bought me a gift. Check it out. I got a Sid Wilson pop now.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah.
I'm a big fan of Sid. DJ Starscream, shout out. If y'all don't know Slipknot, Sid is Slipknot's DJ, and so that's love right there, baby. I'm sorry. What were you saying though?
You're good. So what I was saying, if you think of some of your favorite songs, just feel good music, stuff that you vibe to, a lot of it, the thing that you think of first is the hook.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, because if your hook is infectious, if your hook makes people I tell people all the time, the hook is what sticks in people's head. If your hook is melodic, if it's catchy, if it's got power in it, if it's got a message, that's what's going to stick in people's head. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the lyrics are going to hit home, but the hook is what stays with people.
I see a ton of people dog on Tom McDonald for his hooks, and that's what I tell them all the time. I'm like, here's the thing. Do I listen to a Tom McDonald hook and say I absolutely love it? No. But does it get stuck in my head? Yes, because he straight up comes with some NSYNC Backstreet Boys stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, that's what a hook is supposed to be, though. You can say, yeah, he's going hard in his verses, and he loses me on the hook because he takes a 180.
Yeah.
But that's what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's cheesy, but come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for me personally, like J-Law was saying, I feel like hooks make a song, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, your delivery can be impeccable. Your lyrics can be top notch. But if you don't have a catchy hook on your song, it's not going to have replay value.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Tom McDonald. Tom McDonald's songs, they're fucking amazing. He talks about some crazy shit in there that needs to be said.
Yeah.
But to me personally, they don't have replay value. I listened to them once and I'm like, damn, that was dope, and never listened to it again.
Well, I'll say this, like I because I do still like carry CDs in my car. I'm old school like that. Like Tom's first album, Death Threats, like that has been in my car on rotation for forever. Like that stays in my CD player. Well, his first album has a ton of replay value. That's where you got like the Politically Incorrect. That's where you got White Boy, This House, like all that stuff. Like to me, that album has a ton. Now everything after that was kind of hit or miss. I still love Tom overall, but that first album has a ton of replay value to me.
Yeah.
He mixes it up some, does some boom bop in it, like boom bap. But Tom's hooks are wild to me. Love them, not all, but most. Yeah. And I feel like Tom intentionally hits people like that. But I'm gonna open up. I said it a minute ago, and then we had like 3 more conversations after. I'm gonna put the link out there. If you guys want to jump in, I'll probably only let one person in at a time. If you guys want to jump in, ask ask Glyphic some things, kick it with Glyphic for a minute, click on that link. Glyphic always in our chat. He don't come up on the community streams that much though, but
I was in there the last time.
he was in there the last time. Let's see. So I got that pinned up top in the chat. If you guys, I think I got it pinned. It don't say it's pinned, but it's supposed to be pinned. I clicked on pin. There it is. Yeah, now it's pinned. What up, EST not Teen XX? I'm just gonna call you Jacob because I know who you are. If y'all don't know Jacob Jufro reaction channel over there, man, he got this channel right here, mostly MGK content on the EST not Teen XX family channel, or you can hit up his main channel. He got a link over there on it. But if you guys don't know that, that is my guy. Make sure you show him some love at some point, man. Let's see here. All right, so I officially have the link out there. It's pinned. Y'all can come in, ask Glyphic some things, kick it, show him some love, whatever the case. If you got a minute, if you want to swing through. I know Jason JV will be on that in a minute because you know Jason trying to hit up a collab, I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
Which I know. So speaking of collabs, you were talking about being open to collabs, like pretty much. I mean, like as long as you're cool with somebody, like you're down for collabs, right?
Yeah, I'm big with collabs. I don't, like I said, my thing is who am I to stop somebody's success or grind or dream? You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like making music with me is gonna help you or help your platform or whatever, then let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I got no issue. Same thing, like if I feel as though somebody is gonna help me or my platform, I'm gonna try to collab with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, or even if you just fuck with me as a person or as an artist, let's get it in. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be about getting bigger. If you just vibe with me, let's do it. You know what I mean?
So you heard it here first. You know, AlphaTyler's working on his album soon, and so you're gonna see a Glyphic feature on there. Then is what I'm hearing.
You said it.
Let's see. Tater Bucky says, please make sure you show that. Yes, please, thumbs up. Make sure you show some love. Just woke up, about to be on in a minute. I keep forgetting, like, this is crazy early for some of our people because we got a lot of Cali and Hawaii and everything in the chat. Jiminator jumping in, though. He ready to push a beat on you right now. What up, Jiminator? What up, Jiminator?
Hey, just letting y'all know my audio is kind of cheeks right now. My audio is kind of really bad. But you Glyphic, I got nothing but respect for you as an artist. And I'm cooking up something. I got some melodies stuck in my head already. And hopefully we got some of them in the future.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Always looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. That's all I wanted to say. You guys are the best and keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, homie. Thanks, homie. Big appreciation. Big appreciation for real.
Yep. Jacob showing that love, says keep up the grind, y'all, for sure. If you haven't checked out Glyphic, you definitely need to show this man some love, man. I'm telling you, my guy is blowing up before long. What up, Tater?
Aloha. I'm just saying hello. I don't have any questions for you, kiddo. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Just keep it up, and I really do like that memorial that you, or whatever you want to call her, an honor song, whatever, and that will always have a little piece in my heart, no matter how big you get. Like,
thank you.
You will always have my backing on that. That was just, I mean, it's, I don't care how imperfect it is. It is such a true and pure song, and so. Don't ever try to re-perfect it. Is what I'm saying.
No, I won't. That's the one and only right there.
Yeah, man.
But thank you.
I will talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all later. I got to adult today.
You'll be on the community stream later, right?
I may be late, but just know that if any subjects that are covered when I get in will be recovered. Just know that, not to take it away, but you saw my text message, and yeah, we coming. Aloha, I love y'all.
See ya.
Oh, wait, did I see it?
What time are you gonna start that community stream?
Probably. So I got to cook some dinner real quick, but I'm just making. I'm making lobster and shrimp ravioli, so like it won't take that long.
Right.
It'll be. My goal is to say 6 Eastern time or 7. But I mean, it could end up being a little bit later. It depends on how long it takes me to make some shrimp and ravioli.
Right. Okay. No problem. I'll probably be around for that.
Yeah, pop in, man, for sure. Everybody, the problem is, and this is what I tell people, like, on the one hand, like, I like doing the interviews earlier because then, like, you know, when late evening comes, like, I can start drinking and stuff like that and just kicking it and chilling. But my biggest issue is, like, with these interviews, I notice, like, more people come back and watch it later than watch it the first time through, just because when we do them earlier, it most of my viewership is active later. You know what I mean?
Right. Which is all good.
Yeah. What up, Alyssa? How you doing?
How y'all doing? Happy Easter. Y'all eat good.
Happy Easter.
I just wanted to say hi. Happy Easter. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, and eat as much junk food as you can.
Yeah,
man, your music rocks, Glyphic. I want to tell you, music rocks, man. That's smooth songs you got. Man, you're good. We've heard them. You're awesome, man. Stay awesome. Stay safe, man. Take care of yourself. You too, Alpha. You stay safe and stay healthy. Y'all have a good weekend. Happy Easter. Goodbye. I'm gonna jump off here so Alpha can finish visiting.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Appreciate you, and same to you.
You're welcome, Alpha. Thank you.
Yep. Nah, for real. She talking about Glyphic's velvety voice right there, man. I'm telling you, man. Glyphic got that smooth sound, like when he's coming, when he's talking, when he's singing, like whatever he's doing. Glyphic got that smooth velvety voice. You know what I'm saying? Like no homo. Like I heard that. I'm like, okay. Like I'm rocking with it because like real. So here's the thing, and this is real talk, and this is like me peeling back the onion layer on my thoughts on that. Like normally when you hear somebody that has like that smoother voice and everything, like a lot of times they got like a lisp or something too. I don't know what it is. Like your vocal tone, like a lot of times people with your vocal tone have a lisp. But as I was listening, like I was expecting the first time I listened to your music, I was expecting to kind of hear that lispy sound, which isn't a problem. I mean, you know, I listen to plenty of artists that do have a lisp. But I'm like, when you got around, I was hearing them crisp sounds. I'm like, I was caught off guard by the fact that you weren't lispy, and maybe that's my fault. I don't know, but like, I mean, you sound crisp and velvety at the same time, which confuses me. I know that's the most like awkward, offhanded comment.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see. J-Law said he got Elmer Fudd on deck waiting on the bunny this year. Man, J-Law, you gonna jump in here for a minute, J-Law?
Come on, man, don't be shy.
Come on. Let's see. Gabe's back. Says he had to disappear for a minute, but he's back.
Don't let it happen again, Gabe.
What's that?
I said, don't let it happen again, Gabe.
Yeah. We expect you to be here. Let's see. Just sub T Glyphic. Good stuff. Good bars. Hey, look at that.
Big thanks, man. Big appreciation. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how much or how good the Alpha team has been to me, for real. Like ever since J-Law put me onto the Alpha team, it's been nothing but love. You guys have helped my sub count go up. My views have gone up. It's like I said, it's been nothing but love, both sides. So I can never say thank you enough, for real.
It's all love, man. No thanks necessary. That's the thing, man. Like it's number one to me. Like if somebody making good music and showing love to us and stuff, like there is no reason like I wouldn't keep trying to push them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean, and you've been rocking with us, man. Like you've been rocking with us for real. Like there's no reason for me not to be showing you love.
Right.
Like, plus I dig your music. That helps. Let's see.
That definitely adds a little bonus to it.
Yeah. Like I don't know. We gotta figure out. That's the thing. I think that's the next thing that I start looking at is like, how do I boost my promotion? Like one thing that I'm trying to really boost on this channel is how I get more consistent people who are checking out everything. Like when I'm checking out an independent artist, like 18,000 subs is cool, but it's like, you know, 18,000 people ain't watching everything I'm doing, and 18,000 people are never going to be watching everything.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, at least bumping it up so that I'm getting more of a reach into my community, getting more of those people who want to watch everything. That's what I'm looking for next.
That's the same thing like with me. I have almost 200 subscribers, but my view count is consistently right around 90.
Yeah.
So even though I have 200 subs, well, almost 200 subs, really only 90 of those people are truly tapping in when I drop something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So.
and that's the thing. I mean, I think it's about that community feel. I mean, we have a good community feel. It's just, and I feel like once people in the community check out like the community streams or the live streams or something, like they realize like we got a good thing going and they stick around for it.
I couldn't believe just how big and open the Alpha team was. Like I knew J-Law said that this was the community to be in, but I never expected for it to be the way that it is.
Oh yeah,
like I said, it's ever since I got here. You got the team, the community, and everybody showed me nothing but love and appreciation. So I mean, it's been a blessing for real.
Yeah, it's always love. I mean, even if we got bad things to say, we say them constructively.
And I tell people all the time with my music, I'm when it comes to my feelings, I'm not a fairy. If you don't like it, you don't like it. My music's not going to be for everybody. There's going to be somebody out there who thinks I'm complete total dog shit. Yeah. That's fine. I got no issue with that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But at the same time, you don't have to disrespect me or degrade me to be able to get your point across. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Caleb. I don't know if Caleb's still hanging out in the stream right now. I mean, Caleb is an artist. The first time I checked out his music, I was like, I'm not really feeling this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, it wasn't out of hate. I'm just like, I'm
just saying, like, I'm just not feeling this.
Yeah, and I said, you know, these are the things I'm not feeling about it. Like, I feel like the song could be better right here. Like, but I try to keep it constructive if I'm not about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's like with Childhood Endeavors. You just said, yeah, the story behind it is solid, but the delivery, the wording, it could have been better, and that's facts.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, that's what I think makes this community stronger is there's a lot of people that are open to have their views challenged. I mean, even like we used to talk about politics a lot on Saturdays on the community streams, you know, and like, I mean, we got some pretty far left liberals. We got some pretty far right conservatives. We got me being the crazy libertarian in the middle right here. And like, but we would come in and we would have those conversations even at the beginning of COVID, like people who thought that masks were the devil versus people who thought that like you needed one while you were sitting in your kitchen eating breakfast alone. Yeah. But I mean, we were able to have those conversations respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been the key. And that's what I've looked for in this channel is like, because that's who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. Like we can disagree. That's fine. Disagree.
Yeah. And see, I'm the same way. You can get your piece across without me being disrespectful, and I should be able to get my piece across without you being disrespectful.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, in 2021, as an artist, dude, I am so afraid to speak on politics, religion, any of that, because cancel culture is a real thing. And the thing is, even though I only have 200 subs, like I'm not trying to say or do something that gets my 200 subs to hate me. So. You know, it's like, and it sucks because, like I said, in 2021, you can't really share your thoughts or opinions or feelings without somebody hating you for it.
I think it's learning the space. It's like, you know, because I don't hold back. I don't hold back my opinions on things. I mean, y'all all pretty well know that. Like, if you want to know where I stand on something, I'm not going to unnecessarily like beat you over the head with my views.
Yeah.
But if you want to know where I stand on something, I'm gonna tell you. And you know, the eye opener for me, the moment where I was like, okay, is this something that I'm like actually gonna stand on? Which it is. I mean, that's somewhere that I want to be. But I mean, I guess the coup de grace moment for me was I did a reaction to one of Mises's tracks, the Gates of Hell video, and I was listening to. What he was saying through the song, and he was talking about the vaccines. And like I said, I don't say this to, you know, demonize anybody who has a different view than me. I'm just not going to get the vaccine. If you want to get it, like, cool. Like, I'm just not about it, you know? Mm-hmm. But I was talking about that in the video, and that's pretty much exactly how I said it. You know, I'm like, when I look at the science, like, I don't see it. Like when I look at, you know, a vaccine that was made that quickly, I'm not about it. Like, I don't want it. And this first comment was like, this lady wrote me a book in a comment about how like my content was dangerous for children, and she was reporting me and my channel and Mises, and like, I'm like, how is that your response? Like, I'm not telling you not to take it.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody that they shouldn't get it. I'm just saying I'm not getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's the dangerous thing with having a platform. Like, people feel as though what you say and what you do is what they should follow. And that's the problem with humans.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the majority of humans, 85-90% follow.
Yeah.
They don't want to do their own thing or be their own person. Everybody needs a wave or something to ride. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where like the cancel culture comes in. You know, AlphaTyler says, "Oh, I'm not getting vaccinated." And then that creates a whole ripple effect. You know, there's out of 18,000 subscribers, let's say there's 1.2K that are very hard pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then your numbers drop to like 16.3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what I hate about social media and cancel culture and 2021. It's just like, there's so many people who are so quick. Like, if they don't agree with what you say or what you think or what you do, you're canceled. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing though. I refuse to bow down to the louder minority that is going to rail against me.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
You gotta be you regardless.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you because when I started this channel, one of the things that I was talking about, because you know, you always, when you have, whether you have music, whatever you have, you always got to be thinking about what is the brand that I'm selling.
Yeah.
And in this kind of thing, whether you're looking at music or reaction show, whatever you're looking at, your brand that you're selling is you. And if you can't be true to yourself, like people are going to pick up on that. Nobody wants to come around if you're not being you. And so that's what I said. I mean, yeah, y'all can get mad. Like, and I maintain, like, if you can't handle me having a different opinion than you can leave. And that's my bottom line.
Thanks.
Because I'm going to respect you if you have a different opinion than me.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's
respect back.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I want that respect back, but I'm not going to bow down. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I'm not going to clip that out of my video just because, you know, you say that you're offended. You're going to report me. Then I didn't break any guidelines. I gave you my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But
that's where I feel about cancel culture as a whole. So when I get canceled next week, you'll know why. But I just here. I mean the thing is, what a lot of people don't see is I get it from both sides, because I get that side going railing after that, and I can only imagine that she was not a Trump supporter. But then, like, back during the election, like, I had Trump supporters like commenting on my stuff. They're like, "You speak to thousands of people every day. Why are you saying that you're not going to vote for Trump?" And I'm like, because I'm probably not. Like, I mean, I'm just being real. I don't like things that
lead anybody. I'm just telling you what it is.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, I don't like things that he did. I'm not going to pretend that he's God. Like, I don't know, man. People getting their feelings too much.
Especially in 2021.
Yep. I agree with what Shane said. If you agree with everything I say or do, I'd worry. I would 100% worry if this community was full of people that agreed with me. And also, like, there's no accountability in that. Like, if you agree with everything that I say or do, that means like you are blindly agreeing with everything I say or do. Yeah. Call me on my shit, you know?
Cheap.
Yeah. Challenge me. I'm not going to grow at all if you're not going to challenge me. Mm-hmm. Let's see. This ain't no family-friendly community. It's dog eat dog around here. I think it's family friendly. I mean, I can say, like, I feel confident. Maybe not sometimes when we start making certain jokes or something, but when we're having serious conversations, definitely when we're having the interviews, through most reactions and stuff like that, like I feel confident that most people would not feel like they have to turn off my stream or my channel just because their kids walk in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going in, I'm not dropping F-bombs every other word. I mean, sometimes on the community streams, once I've had a little bit to drink, maybe I am, right. But like, you know, I mean, in general, like I feel like most people don't feel like they have to shut off the stream because their kids walk in the room. Thursdays are a whole different story. Thursdays we here for fun. Thursdays may not be as family friendly.
Right. Yeah, that's like Tater was just saying in the chat. Like if we can, like for example, if I want vanilla ice cream and you want strawberry ice cream, and you dogging me, telling me I'm stupid, that's retarded, da 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 da. Like, why?
I don't like chocolate at all in general. So I mean, like I've got a lot of disagreements over that.
Yeah, you don't like chocolate. You don't like chocolate. It is what it is.
Yeah.
What appeals to me may not appeal to you.
Yep. I agree with Tater right there too. I love many for many different reasons.
People in the world.
Yep. And that's the thing, that those are the only people that I truly just don't rock with. I can find a reason to rock with. It's what I said for a long time. Like one of my best friends, I went to Afghanistan with him. I hung out with him when we got back from Afghanistan. He was one of my drinking buddies. And to the point that when we were both out of the army, he even came and stayed with me for 2 weeks. Like when we both first got out, he lived in Boston, came all the way down to Kentucky just to hang out for a couple of weeks. One of my best friends, he was an atheist. He was a very liberal dude. And I mean, y'all know, like my faith is really important to me. My faith in God is really important to me. And I am a more conservative dude. But one of my best friends in the world, now we would debate, we would have conversations, those long fleshed out conversations. Cause I mean, I still believed what I believed. He believed what he believed.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that did not stop the fact that if I get along with the dude, I'm not going to stop hanging out with him because we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah, for sure. And to a credit to what Tater was saying with the I was just reading what you said. To a credit to what Tater was saying with like shitty people being in the world. That's like an example. My daughter, she's got a friend who lives down the street. And this little girl, she runs all over her mom and her dad. She is a tyrant.
Yeah.
And my daughter told my girl's grandmother, she said, I'd love to be like that girl. She gets to do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And I told my daughter, I said, listen, yeah, right now you want to be like her because she gets to do every little thing that she wants and she runs over her parents. But I guarantee you later when you're mommy and daddy's age, you're going to appreciate the way that mommy and daddy raised you as opposed to the way that she's being raised.
Yeah.
She's got no discipline. She's got no morals. I mean, she literally, like, you can't say or do anything to this girl without her just turning completely red in the face and snapping.
Right.
Like, I told my, I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
I'm one of them old fashioned parents. Well, you can tell from my raising, and I'm not saying, now let me say this. I will say from the way that I was raised where you got your ass whooped for everything.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't raised my daughter that way because in my opinion, there's pros and cons to raising your child that way.
Yeah.
I'm living proof. There's good things about me, and then there's negative qualities that I have due to the way that I was raised.
Yep.
So do I believe in the ability to be able to spank your kids? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I believe that you need to abuse your kids to get your point across? Fuck no.
No.
Hell no.
Well, that's what I've said a ton too, because I mean, my daughter's 2, and so like we're at that point where the doctors are always like, every time you go, they're like, don't spank your kids. I'm like, I'm gonna spank my kids. Sorry, yeah. I'm not gonna beat the hell out of her. I understand she's not like if I swing at her.
You don't even, and I got my daughter to the point, I really only needed to bust her butt like 3 or 4 times. I got to the point now where I could just look at her or say something in a certain tone, and she's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to stop what I'm doing.
Well, that's what went down with my daughter because once she got to the point where she understood it, and it wasn't like a wham, like it was just a
enough for her to realize, yo, dad's not playing. Like,
yeah. It was that little tap, and now though she's 2, she's almost 3. But now I can just say M and give her that look, give her that tone and everything. And she looks at me and she stops. She'll walk away from whatever she's doing. Like she knows better. And the amount of times that I have to spank my daughter now because I spanked my daughter before, the amount of times that I have to spank my daughter now, it's rare. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost never. It's like now she'll cry and everything sometimes. If she's trying to get in the oven while it's hot or something, I'll say, go back in the living room. Now she'll go run to the couch and crying like I had spanked her or something.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
But at that point, it's not because she's physically hurt. It's because she's pissed off that she can't do what she wants to do.
Exactly.
That's all it is. And at that point, that's fine. You can be pissed off. I understand your emotions and we can get through them. But you're not going to do what you want to do.
But that's what I said. I would rather have that kid than the one that you're trying to sit in timeout and make them understand like why they can, because the thing is
going off.
Yeah.
I saw a lady the other day in Walmart. This kid picked up, now mind you, the kid didn't ask mind you, he's probably like 5-6 years old. The kid didn't ask his mom if he could get this candy bar. He just went up to the thing and snatched it up and was like, yeah, we about to get this. Well, the mom was like, no, you're not getting that. My dude threw the candy bar, dropped to the floor, and started screaming his head off. I'm like, oh, hell, dude, my mom would have dragged my ass through that store. My mom would have tore me up.
Yeah. Well, that's one, like when I was a kid, because I remember like if I embarrassed my parents in public, I was getting thrown up over dad's shoulder and like my ass was getting whipped on the way out. And then we were sitting in the car.
My mom used to tell all of us, we would park in the parking lot, we'd get out the car, and she would put all of us in a group and she'd look us right in the face. And she said, now I'm telling you what, we go in this store and you embarrass me, I'm going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
Don't touch nothing. Don't say nothing. We're getting what we're getting and we're getting out.
Yep.
She used to tell us that every time.
Yep.
Hey, you knew better. You better not embarrass that woman in that store.
I know Tater wants to weigh in on this one. She jumped back in because she's like, we smacking some ass.
We're smacking some ass. No, and I totally agree, because what you said, Glyphic, that you have negative qualities, because unfortunately I came from a household that I think my parents divorced. I don't remember when my parents divorced. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 18 months, 2 years. So I don't ever have that. But anyway, one was you got your ass threw up against the wall sometimes for nothing. And then you also had, I had my dad that literally, like, I was rolling cars, I was wrecking cars, I was doing all kinds of shit and never got any discipline. Like, I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And I look back and I remember after I had my children, sitting with my dad, and not that my dad was a bad guy or anything, but just going like, Dad, what were you thinking? Like, I was like 14, 15.
Like, why the hell were you letting me just run wild?
Right. You knew I wasn't out doing like studying at
like, you knew I wasn't doing nothing good.
Yep.
Yep.
But I also know that, like, with my mom, like, there was a respect. I mean, there were consequences, and unfortunately you never knew what the consequences could be, you know.
In the same token with that, Tater, I think it's important, though, to allow kids to explore and be themselves. Like, when I was younger, my mom always, like, if I wanted to do something, mom would be like, no, we're not doing that. You're not doing that. You know, we're just going to do this, or, you know, go play in your room or whatever. Like, and that built up a resentment with me, with my mother, because I never really got to be me. I was always being, you know, the dude who was in the family. I was the family son. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't Angel. I was Amena. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like it's important to allow kids. Now, obviously, you don't need to allow them to go out and do stupid shit, but it's important to allow kids to be able to be themselves and explore what they like, you know, who they are.
And I will have to say with that, with my parents, I look back and they really let me, you know, like, I was always the one, the kind of like the black sheep, you know, but they were too. So they really wanted better for me, but I think didn't really know how to do it, you know, because they were the cool parents. But I will have to say I knew the consequences. And I look at with my dad that I probably was trying to get that discipline. I really think that kids act out for that.
They want attention. I've said it numerous times. If you look at kids who have one parent or kids who are adopted, those are the kids who generally are criminals that act out the most. And it's because they don't have the time, attention, and love that they want. Every kid wants to be the center of attention, regardless if they have siblings or not, if they have parents or not. Every kid wants to be paid attention to.
Nope.
Right. And
So-
negative tension is better than no attention.
Exactly. And that's what it comes down to. If you're getting straight A's in school, if you went out in the garden and planted flowers, and your mom or your dad or your nana or whoever is just like, okay, cool. Whereas if you go out and steal a car or you go mug an old lady, all eyes are on you. You got cops on you. You got your parents are mad at you. Your brothers and sisters and cousins are messaging you. Like everybody's like, yo, what the hell are you doing? What's going on? Da da da. You got all kinds of attention. So that's what it boils down to. People just want attention. They want to be loved. And if you're not receiving positive love, positive reinforcement, or positive attention, you're gonna go get it elsewhere. And it's gonna come in negative effects. That's how it's
Well,
gonna
and if you have more kids, like I had my first kid when I was 18, and I had 4. They were about 3 to 4 years apart. So, I had them older, and the girls always say that the Jonathan is the favorite because he is the baby and he gets away. And I think that there's both places where I've learned that there's a time to react and a way to react, and to lose my shit on my kids is not always positive, and it's taking me a while to learn that because of my own issues and being a young kid, having a kid, and not realizing where to break the circle, and what, even yelling at your kids, I don't think is the greatest all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I'm a yeller. I yell at my kids.
That's one of the battles that you got to choose as a parent. I've noticed, like I said, with me growing up, every time I did or said something wrong, I got my ass whooped. No questions asked. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, as a parent, you got to pick and choose what battles you want to make a big thing and which ones aren't really that crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like if my daughter were to look me in the face and be like, yeah, fuck you, bitch ass daddy, that's different than if she goes in the kitchen and makes some mess with some water.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
It's like you got to pick and choose which battles you want to make like a big thing out of, and which ones are just like, okay, well, maybe next time we should try this instead of, I don't need to whoop your ass just to get my point across.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna be the dad that whips your ass because you put your hand on a hot stove or something. Figure out that thing's hot. Like,
like you're gonna realize that's not what you want to do anymore.
Yeah. Like you already getting some punishment out of that.
Right.
Now I'll keep my daughter, like if the oven's at 450 and we just opened it up, like I'll put her hand in there, like
for sure. Like I'm not gonna let you do something completely, immoral and messed up to yourself just to learn a lesson. Yeah. But at the same time, you're not gonna learn unless you go through it.
Yeah. But that's like the other day blew my mind. And my wife was freaking out. It was hilarious. My daughter, she caught my wife not paying attention, so she left the living room. Now she's 2, so I mean, she's almost 3, so she's
at a explore stage. She wants to know everything.
Yeah. And so she snuck out of the living room. She walked all the way down 2 flights of stairs to get here. And then she picked up, like, because we keep the puppy pads outside this door right here at the bottom of the stairs. And so she picks up the puppy pad, carries it all the way back to the living room and threw it on my wife. Well, my wife was like, oh, no. Like, how'd you get down there and get a piss soaked pad? Like what's going on? Comes back up, and Sierra was freaking out. She's like, she knows how to get. I'm like, yes, she knows how to get down there. I'm like, so do you. You had to learn that at some point. Like that ain't the one that we're gonna freak out over. Now, if she goes walking down the stairs or something and trips and then slides all the way down the rest of them, like that's something we'll freak out about.
Yeah.
Or if she opens the door and runs down the road or something, like that's something we'll freak out about.
Her learning how to go downstairs. I mean, that's just a life technique. That's a life. You know what I'm saying? Like. Now at that point, it's to teach her what she should and should not get into at the bottom of those stairs.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's the responses though. Like I said, I mean, teach her not to grab the puppy pads. Don't teach her not to go up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
But then
I'm a firm believer how you respond to situations as a parent is crucial. It's not so much the outcome, it's the response. Like people with young kids, when a 2 or 3 year old says, damn, bitch, fucking all that, they're like, oh, no, you can't say that. You can't. Don't do that. Don't pay attention to it. Yeah. If you make them realize that they are not supposed to say that. You get that. They're gonna think every time I say ass, mom goes crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, back to that attention thing. Kids want attention. Now they know if I say ass, everybody's gonna jump on me and give me all eyes.
Well, that was something because my wife's a little bit younger than I am. That was something I really had to like hammer to her because my daughter loves fish. When she was learning how to say fish, she kept saying bitch for a little while. Like she would slide over and she would say bitch. Like,
but in her mind, she thinks she's saying fish.
Yeah, and Sierra would be like, "Oh gosh, what if she says that at church or something?" I'm like, she's trying to say fish. Like it's not a big deal. Like.
Even though she's saying a bad word, she's not saying a bad word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's not trying to curse.
Yeah.
She's just saying what she thinks is the correct pronunciation for that word.
Yeah. And that was one where I had to tell her, I'm like, that's not a situation where we jump up and like, oh no. I said, just show her how to say it the right way. Just say fish, show her fish and say fish. Like say it slow.
Yeah. Keep saying it over and over again.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Shout out to my man No Chill Dill, by the way. You tripped me out when you changed your name because it used to be Delinquent. No Chill Dill's a rapper too, so maybe y'all want to get in touch at some point. He also has a dope web series called Adam's Life, which actually was how I realized he changed his name because I was looking for Adam's Life the other day. Realized like you changed the title on everything from Delinquent over to No Chill Dill, and like I can't find any of your stuff anymore. I had to look through all of my subscriptions, and I'm subscribed to a lot of people. And so like I had to look through, and then I finally found No Chill Dill. I saw the picture. I was like, oh, that's him. But yeah, you threw me off with that rebranding, man. But shout out. Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by, man. But yeah, no, like raising kids is just, I mean, it's an experience. And that's what I say, like the stare thing is the best example to me because there are 3 responses you should have. There's the one where she goes down and does something wrong. Don't teach her not to go down the stairs. Teach her what not to do when she gets there. There's the one, if she had slipped, obviously in that response to me, she's already gotten her punishment for all that. And like, so, then you show up
the steps like
yeah, then you show up and support because like she probably gonna be hurting. And then there's the other response where she passes the front door. Let's say instead of passing the front door on the way, she figures out how to get the door open, goes outside. Now that is a situation my daughter did that where she's gonna get a whipping. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's something we don't do. Yeah.
Like you don't go out the door and go walking. Like, but I mean it's just raising kids. Like they give you what you give them back, and that's where you go back.
Exactly.
I had
go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna say, and I had the harsher upbringing like you did. It was like you getting your ass whipped over everything. It don't matter. You get more than an ass whipping. You getting smacked in the mouth, whatever you got to get. You know what I'm saying? And so that's I feel you on that. Like I don't want to give my kid 100% because I got smacked no matter what I did.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time that kids are a direct reflection of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a kid, and I'm sorry, it's the truth. From what I've learned from being a father and seeing other young parents, kids are a direct reflection of their parents. If that kid is a little tyrant, being a little badass, that's because their parents, his or her parents let him. Yep. If you see a kid and they're well-mannered, they're well-spoken, it's because their parents are well-mannered and well-spoken.
Yeah.
Like, and I know people who say that people who are a product of their environments, like that's not a real thing. Everybody gets to make their own choices. No, a product of your environment, that is a real thing. Where you grow up, what you grow up around truly affects who you are and who you become.
Yep.
Like, yeah, as an adult, you get to make your own choices of how you want to do things and what you want to say, but you're still wired from where you come from. You still have that in you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
I appreciate that, Dan. Hope you're having a good day too. I'm having a fantastic pre-Easter, and also Shane coming in saying, "Amen. My daughter is a carbon copy of her mom." I mean, that's the thing, man. We imprint on our kids. We give them, or we take away, or we teach them, but we pass off, and that's what always makes me sad because like a lot of people don't understand the responsibilities you have as a mother and a father. I mean, like you have a responsibility.
A lot of people think having kids is cute. They just want the little cute play thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not cute. It's not fun and games. You are literally teaching another human being how to be the best possible human that they can be.
Yep.
And you're trying to teach them to be better than you while trying to better yourself. Like, how can you teach somebody to be better? Like, how? Okay, one of my biggest challenges that I've had as a father is, how can I teach my daughter to be better than me when I don't even know how to be better than me?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be my best version of myself that I can, but I want her to be better.
Yep.
How? You know, if I don't even know how to get there, how is she going to get there?
Yep. Shane's saying both his are a pain, but he'd kill over them.
Facts. And that's a fucking fact.
It's like giving a newborn baby to a pack of wolves. As that child grows, the child acts like a wolf. Man, that's a fact.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
No matter what environment you put a child, even a person, you can put a full adult in a different environment, and I guarantee you they're going to change. You leave them there long enough, they're going to become a product of that environment.
Yep.
That's just the way that things work.
Yep.
Right. I was going to say that I do disagree. I had to take a phone call. So I do disagree on where parents let them, because I know some, I'm really grateful for my kids. Like, my kids are, when it comes right down to it, they're all good kids. Have they given me gray hairs and all that good stuff and put me through some stuff? But when it comes down to it, they're not drug addicts. They're not alcoholics. They're not in and out of jail. Like, they're good kids compared to some of my other friends' kids.
Yeah.
And they really did try. And unfortunately, you know, you've just got those kids that it's not the lack of the parents trying, I don't think. You know, I mean, I know because I see them. It's just for some reason they just are shitty kids. I don't know why. Shitty people are shitty people, man.
I gotta be honest with you, Tater. I 100% disagree with that, because in my opinion, kids aren't shitty. Kids, if you pay attention to a kid, right? When a kid is coming up, a kid is naturally curious. A kid is naturally going to be into stuff. You know what I mean? So a kid is always going to be, quote unquote, mischievous. They're always curious. They want to get into things. Okay. So, like, in my opinion, from my upbringing, I was a quote unquote good kid. Mm-hmm. I was just curious. I wanted to know how things work. What happens if I do this? What is the reaction if you do this with that? And it was how my mom responded to me doing those things that turned me into a different person. If my mom didn't beat me the way that she did and raise me the way that she did, I would have never responded to those situations the way that I did.
I think what a lot of people get into, I think what happens is, like, the kids will become teenagers or something, and then, like, the parents kind of take that backseat role rather than adapting to the new age, and rather than, like, trying to figure out how to have a different relationship with them. Because really, up until your kids are like 10, you know, you are very much over them. Like, you're seeing what they're doing. Once they're teenagers, when they start, like, going out, hanging out with their friends, you know, trying to sneak out, do other things and everything. A lot of parents at that point either say, you know, go or stay or whatever, but they don't try to have, like, that active role to see what they're doing.
I'm a firm believer that a lot of parents nowadays are trying to be their kid's best friend as opposed to their mother and father. I hate that. Like, no, you're not my best friend. Can I be your best friend? Sure. But I'm not your best friend. I am your father first and foremost.
See, but I think too, though, I think that's where, you know, when you start talking about good parents having shitty kids, like, I think that's where it comes from, because they may be good parents, but at some point, like, they start taking that back seat.
Yeah, they forget that they're parents. I mean, like, that's how my kids.
They're like, you're at the point now, you can go do your own thing. Get out of my face, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, my youngest is 17 and my oldest is, what is she, 24 now? And well, my oldest has passed away, so I always try to be like, well, not my oldest, my second to the oldest.
Right.
And I've always told them, it does, until the day I die, I will always be your mother.
Exactly.
And I will always parent you. And when I see you doing wrong, and when I see you not living up to my expectations, even if you're not in my house, I'm going to call you out on that shit.
My mom tells me all the time. She says, I don't care if I'm 60 and you're 37, 40. She's like, I will still whoop your ass.
Exactly.
Like, you are never too old. You never know too much. Like,
and it was coming to that. Well, the point before is where my kids of saying the youngest is like, but he knows. I mean, he has learned. Number one, if you get caught, the truth is the best way to go, because mama don't, if you try to lie and play me as a fool, like I don't know, because I was a teenager, I was a hellion, I know what you do, own up to it.
I tell
Be
my
a
daughter all
man,
the time.
be a woman, take
Mhm.
responsibility, face your consequences. Don't try to lie your freaking way out.
Yeah.
That is where he's learned that with the girls, they would swear up and down. We'd have almost proof. You know what I'm saying? No, it wasn't me.
Mhm.
He comes in, like when he first got high, I knew he was doing it. He lives in Hawaii. Like Jesus, his mom
Yeah.
is a stoner. Like I was doing at 16.
Yeah.
I know, but here are the rules,
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
are the stipulations. And he clearly walked into my house, and he had been with friends cruising, which I'm not like, I don't promote being blazed and out driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, boy, are you high? And he was like, no, ma'am. And I was like, you want to try me one more time?
Yeah.
And he just kind of hung his head down. And I was like, look, I know you're going to do it, but you better, as soon as you get in that car, you better hit that blunt. And when it comes around, when it's time to get out, you better be like, no, no, no. My mama said I better not walk up here in some red eyes, or you better invest in some Visine, because it's just, and they know, like I'm, trying to tell them, like, just because I do, monkey see, monkey do. No, I get you see mama doing this, or mama did that, or mama, but like you said, I want to make sure they're a better representation than I am, and I don't know how to do it, but I'm damn sure going to encourage it for them.
And see,
I
go
love
ahead,
those.
go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was just gonna say I got a box in the mail, by the way, today, Tater.
I got my stuff last night, my coffee, and I was like, thank the fucking Lord. Excuse my language. I
No, you're
cuss.
good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, and I'm a big advocate for that, Tater. Even though I'm in the same boat as you from my upbringing, I don't really know what's right and what's wrong as far as how to raise a child. With her being my first kid,
Right.
everything is a learning curve. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer from the way that I was raised that if you want your kids to act a certain way or do a certain thing, you got to lead by example.
No,
You
for
have
sure.
to.
And that's why I always try to, where I know that, again, people, there are some people that just don't get it as they grow. And I
Yeah.
do look back, and I look at my child too. She yells a little bit. And there are times where I'm like, hey, I know I did it to you. I get it. I
Yeah.
understand it, but it's not right. And look what it did to you.
Yeah,
So let's
exactly.
break the circle.
Yeah.
And every generation is going to find another circle to break.
Exactly.
And
That's
you
why
got
I
to just
tell
own
people.
up and say, man, I know I ain't going to win no Parent of the Year award. Nobody is. No parent is perfect, and no child is perfect. Nobody's perfect. And when people start thinking they walking on water, because I didn't birth Jesus. So when I tell my kids, like, yeah, you did good. Yeah, you got an A. Guess what? You better get A's all the time, or you better do whatever. Because I do know that sometimes I'm a really bad critic, because they can do 99 things right, and I will focus on that one thing
The
that they
one
do
wrong thing,
wrong.
yeah,
And it's just because I'm like, you can be better. You
Yeah.
can be better. You
Yeah.
need to, and
Yeah.
that's not always good. Like I get that, but
Yeah.
it's making them
Well,
to
that's like,
realize too that but also, understanding and telling them, I know that you will never be perfection, because you
yeah,
can't be, because you're not Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
right,
So, but that doesn't mean I can't get you almost there. And me
right.
too.
Yeah, I tell my friends all the time, and even other, people who are my age or a little older who are parents. There is no right or wrong way to raising kids. There's no manual to it. Like what worked for parents 60, 80 years ago doesn't work for parents today.
Yep.
What works for parents today probably won't work for parents in 60, 80 years from now.
Yep.
So it's like there is no right or wrong way to raise kids. It's just you're trying to make them the best that they can be without damaging them physically, emotionally. And it's like there's no wrong or right way to do that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I guess there are wrong and right ways, but
Well, I
there
mean,
is it's a fine line where you don't want to break their spirit,
Yeah.
Yet you want to encourage and push and go and, like expect better, like you can't, because I used to tell my kids, there are a lot of them are athletics, and the you what you do in practice is how you're going to play in the game. So if you always got to play the game, you can't ever practice if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you're at practice just fucking off, going half-assed, that's how you're gonna play in the game. If you truly want to put your heart and devotion into it, then put your heart and devotion into it. Give it 100% all the time.
Exactly. And I know it took too much time. Sorry about that. I got to
No,
go.
you're good.
But y'all quit talking about parenting, because I think that's
Hey,
parents are not parents anymore because
Well,
they're not allowed to be. They're
Taylor,
not allowed to be the parents. There's you got too much. I mean, living up to the Joneses. People are, single parents, be it willingly or, not because they're willing or whatever, wanting all the fast cars and the new iPods and everything. That when you have kids, you got to really sacrifice. And sometimes that means,
absolutely.
not saying that stay-at-home mom is, you can't have a career, but man, kids, we got to do something these days. I don't know what it is.
That's like, I'm a perfect example, basically. Like I said, I came from a household where I was the youngest of 5 with a single mom. Because of the way that my dad did things and what he did to us growing up, I told myself that if I ever had a kid, I would never abandon that kid. Never, 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 never. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the dad. I'm going to do the right thing, regardless of how painful it is, stressful it is, whatever.
And don't get me wrong, Glyphic, I get it, because there are, and I'm not talking about your baby mama. I'm just saying there's some baby mamas out there that make it where the father doesn't want to be, and make it difficult. They use the pawn. They're bitches. They're really bitches. And
vice versa. There's some baby dads out there that are some shit. And unfortunately, the truth just is that there's more shitty baby dads out there than there are shitty moms. And unfortunately, that's why with the situation that I'm in, me and my wife, I'm 24. And a lot of people ask me, why at 24 did you get married? Well, because I had my daughter at 18, and I knew that there's no way I wasn't giving my daughter a family. Yeah. It wasn't like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I married my wife for my daughter. Of course I love my wife. But at the same time, I felt like if we weren't a family, we weren't a family, if that makes sense.
For sure. And unfortunately, when you pay big boy games, you have to pay the price. And that's, that is, you got to learn to love. You got to learn to love who you're with, and not all the time, because there are yucky people out there. I mean,
the thing with that, I mean, whether you marry somebody or not, you're tied to them for the rest of your life when you have a kid with them.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Absolutely. And I've told my wife before, if, whatever the case may be later on down the road, if we ever split or whatever the case may be, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to have love for you. You still are going to be the mother of my child. Like that's never going to change. Just because we're not together doesn't mean that your place doesn't hold its importance. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I mean, I do. I'm not really a lover of all my exes, and in some of the parent ways, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it is, but I mean, I've had the open conversation. At one time, I did like them, for 2.2 seconds or whatever, but and you got to just put your differences aside and try to do what's best for the child, because they need both,
For sure. And I'm a firm believer. I was, like I said, I was raised without a father. There's a lot of things that I didn't know how to do, or I had to learn from other male figures on how to be a man, because my mom couldn't teach me that.
So, and I'm very lucky that so far there's only been 1 or 2 like exes. I mean, like, stepmoms, because I got 4 babies by 4 different baby daddies. Like I ain't, but I am blessed. I mean, the people that they're married with, I am so thankful. And one actually got a divorce, and I've preached to my child, you will always show respect to her because she was your mama for so long. You know, she was playing the
Right,
mama role when you went and visited, and you
right,
better respect her as a mama. I know she didn't birth you, but she can whip that ass.
right.
That's
So, oh shit, the dogs are going. But I mean, and I look back because I remember having a stepmother that I know I gave her hell, you know, because she wasn't my mama, and I could play that card with my dad, and my dad would come and say, "Don't be mean to my daughter," and of
Yeah,
course she's just trying to love me like her own.
right, right.
And
But as a kid, you don't see that.
no,
Like
no, no.
as a teenager, all you feel, honestly, it's hard being a teenager because a lot of what you feel is anger and resentment. Even
Oh yeah,
even even if you have, I've seen kids who have a mother, a father, you know, anything that they want, you know, the newest game system, the newest clothes, and still have resentment because it's just like you just, even though you have everything, you don't have what you want, if that makes sense. Every
right.
kid wants something different. You could have everything in the world and still feel an empty space.
Well, and that's the thing is like with my kids is like they don't understand because I mean, and it goes into where we've lost a, you know, I lost a child, they lost siblings, and they're like, well, and she, you know, she was the oldest. She was my first. She's the one that made me get my life together. I grew up with her. I was 18 when I had her.
Yep,
She's the one that made me a mama, you know,
yep,
like really what a mama was. And because, like I said, if it wasn't for her, who knows what if the other ones would have even been? You get what I'm saying? But it's like I try to tell them, like, I love y'all for I love you differently
yeah,
for sure. Like and but it's unconditionally. But every
yeah,
one of y'all is unique.
yeah,
Every one of you has a different personality. They have different likes, and they bring something to my life differently. And
yeah.
so, no, I don't love them the same, but I love them the same.
Equally.
If
Yeah,
that makes the sense.
yeah. You don't love them the same, but you love them equally.
Equally. And it's for them, it's I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like where I just realized that I don't know. I'm at that point, probably middle age, where I thought I knew all the answers and I didn't know crap. But I
mhm.
was really lucky. I was able to go to my stepmom. They had divorced. Um, but I was able to go back and say, I am so sorry. You know, like you don't know what you got till it's gone. And of course, she wasn't resentful or anything. And up until the day she died, they had been divorced for years. And I still called her. I still call her my mom.
Yeah,
And she was my mom. And was even when they were divorced was still a part of my life. And I am very I just want to be that way. You know, the kid, you know, my ex is not the baby daddy's, and he took on the role for 10 years.
Yep.
And they love him for that. And up until he decides and they decide that ain't their daddy, that's their daddy. You know, that's who was there when wiping the tears away or getting excited because they, you know, got a trophy. So,
Yep.
but
I,
anyway, peace out, my loves.
Hey, Tater, before you go, Stacy asked if the coffee was good.
Oh, I'm telling again, I'm not trying to preach, but I really like the CBD coffee. It just, I mix it half and half. And if I'm really having a bad morning, I just go full on CBD.
Yep.
But it makes my day. And I was telling Taterate because we had went down to the smoke shop where you can get CBD, and their coffee was $35, and it was a smaller bag. And I'm like, because this is on sale and it's only on sale for $17.99. And if you use Tater Monkey or AlphaTyler, you get 25% off of that $17.99. So anyway, but it is good coffee. I really, especially if you have pain or, you know, like you're old and lived a hard life.
Right.
Are you are you 420 friendly Glyphic? Are you an advocate for the 420?
absolutely. Absolutely.
I think last time Glyphic jumped on a community stream, I watched him roll and smoke like 3
Yeah,
joints, right?
yeah.
No, well, I mean, because people have, I mean, I know like with Calvin J, where he doesn't promote it anymore. And I get that they're, and I'm not trying to throw shade on him because I disagree. Because honestly, I do think it is of God that it is, people can use it for wrong reasons for sure, just like they can do wine or chocolate or strawberries or anything. Like we can all find the devil in it.
See, I smoke for a few different reasons, but the biggest reason is because of my anxiety, as you can imagine, because
Right.
of my upbringing and what I've been through and everything. That's I like, again, with the pros and cons of the way I was raised. One of the biggest cons is I have the hardest time relaxing. It is so, like, even right now, I'm sitting here fucking tapping my foot. Like, it's hard for me to relax. You know what I mean? So
I grew up like, again, my mother was a very bad drug addict. She was an IV drug user. And so I saw a lot of things, and of course I've been a stoner forever, but I've never tried anything else besides shrooms.
I've
But
tried other things, but I don't like fucking with nothing else
yeah.
besides. Yeah, I
And
don't.
so I did. And of course, living before we moved to Hawaii, we lived in a very illegal state. And I didn't. I had some exes that loved to call, play the CPS. And of course, they would come in and see that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Not like they were paying child support, but it's okay. But you get what I'm saying of just making. And so I wasn't willing to lose my child. But I literally cannot take any narcotics. I've been allergic to them for a long time. And so pain is something. And then anxiety. I buried a child 6 years ago. And I can tell you what, if it wasn't for the weed, I would be so strung out on Xanax because they gave me Xanax at the very beginning.
And
And I've had
that's a big problem.
friends.
That's a big problem. Doctors are so quick to push pain pills on people, and it's sick. Like, you say, oh, my back hurts, or oh, I have depression, or oh, I'm experiencing anxiety because of this. Okay, here, take this pill. This is gonna make you feel better.
Right.
But no, stop putting people on pills, man.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say like, like again, Western medicine, there are kudos. And at the time because when I walked into the doctor's office, I probably hadn't been asleep in like, because about a week and a half because she was on life support for like 3-4 days and shit.
Yeah.
And so like, and I was shaking. Like
It's
literally was just
traumatizing.
like,
It's
and
traumatizing.
so it calmed me down. But I know that I am very lucky to have that I guess that insight in the soul of where I knew that I had to feel the pain. And the Xanax, don't get me wrong, man. I have some friends that unfortunately were Xanny, they love those bars, man. And I saw him throw shit away, careers away, and just could not understand it. And I totally understood it after that because if you're emotionally in pain, boy, it numbs you. It numbs you to a T.
If you're emotionally in pain, it's easy to throw anything away. A career, a loved one, anything. When humans are hurting, it's so easy to shut down and just go within yourself and not care about your surroundings anymore.
I think the problem we have is doctors just want to sedate patients. Like they don't want to actually treat and help.
Well,
yeah.
and
They don't want you to feel what you're feeling. They want you numb.
But I think too is that humans don't want to feel the pain. So many, don't get me wrong.
That's the problem.
Losing my child. When people say they died, if I get a little emotional, I'm sorry, but it's like I think people need to hear this. Like people need to have real conversations. Life sucks, people.
Mm-hmm.
It is painful.
I tell people all the time, life fucking sucks.
You can't grab the bottle. You've got to feel. You can't. And don't get me wrong. I get the weed too. Like there are times where I've had to say like, "Oh, am I doing this because I really need it, or I just don't want to feel the pain right now?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
more often than not, you're probably finding yourself that you just don't want to feel what you're going through.
No, grieving a child, I'm going to say is probably the hardest thing a human would ever do.
I could
And
never
being a mother of a
I could never
child, and
imagine.
I'm not taking away fathers' griefs at all, but a mother who carries the child for 9 months, goes through the labor pains, there is something about a mother's bond if you're a true mother.
I
Um,
acknowledge to people all the time. My wife emotionally is probably closer to my kid than I am because I've always looked at myself. I've got to be that symbol of strength for my daughter, you know. And so like where my wife is the one feeling with her, you know what I mean? Like going through the emotions with her.
That's the same thing in my household. My wife is basically like the emotional backbone of my daughter. I'm more so the strength. My daughter looks at me like her best friend and her like I'm more her guide. My wife
you're her
is more,
protector. You
yeah,
know
like
that
I'm
if,
the guide and protector. My wife is her whole system, if that makes sense.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
like
And
I,
so
I
for
get I
the,
get what you're saying. Definitely, like a mother's love is like no other, and I can attest to that. Like I said, with me being the youngest,
even if you don't have the best mother, like my mother,
you don't even have to
she
have a
decided to move back to the mainland, but she lived with us. And I mean, she wasn't the best mother, but, I know if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
yeah.
So no matter how crappy I may think she was, I still owe her my life.
Yep.
Yep.
I've seen kids have the shittiest of mothers. I mean, just shitty. Are yelling at them, hitting them, this, that, but that kid still comes back and shows unconditional love.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And so for me, the grief process, I mean, just the pain that it's painful, and there are questions of, and it's not like I want anybody to be on this journey with me in a way, but
Right.
in a way it's like, why does some parents not have to experience it and others do? And as a parent, I don't want them to experience it, so I look at God of like, well, you know how it feels to lose a child. Why the hell would you ever want anybody to lose a child? And why are only certain people lose child? Like it, I mean, but I know that I have to feel that. I have to feel like you have to have rain or you'll have no rainbow. And to me, the more pain and tribulations that I can overcome, the bigger rainbow that I'm going to have. Like,
It's
Without getting too much into religion, because I don't like that topic, I will say, just based on what I've been through in my life, it's really hard for me to believe that there's somebody out there who can sway or determine what I go through when most of my life has been nothing but shit. Like, honestly, if there's somebody out there who can put me to a better path, why the fuck haven't you? Like, my
well,
life has sucked. And if you
yeah.
know what pain is like, why would you ever want one of your most loved creations to ever go through that?
But
That's
Glyphic, when it comes to this, and I'm not trying to push the real, like I get
right.
it because
You're good. You're good.
I didn't have the greatest life either, and I totally understand it because I remember when I had Kimberly, I immediately when I had her, and this is a real story, they put her up on my chest, and I immediately understood what unconditional love was.
Mhm.
Like if
Absolutely.
anything happened to this
Absolutely.
baby.
Absolutely.
Um, I immediately knew what hate was because I hated God. Because I'm like, wait, you're my dad, and you knew these things were going to happen, and you still let them happen. And for 14 years, I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't say I lived a very godly life. And that same child who made me give up on God is the one that brought me back, because her undying faith of just, and I was not somebody that told her to go to church. I did not preach that crap. I don't go to church, but she had this blind faith. Like Jesus says, come unto me as children. And that means ask questions and be rowdy and ruly and all kinds of stuff. Um, but when I look at it now as losing a child, you want to protect your child all the time, Glithic. I mean, no
Absolutely.
matter what, you never want to see them in
You don't want
pain.
you don't want me to go
You
through
want to
anything.
kiss their boo-boos, but you can't.
Nope.
They have to experience bad life. They've got to experience the bad to know what good is.
And I
And
tell
so
my
I
wife that
think
all the
that's
time.
why he does allow it to happen because as a father and as a mother, I would do anything so my kids wouldn't hurt, but I can't. Unfortunately, it just happens. And I can't be around them 24/7, 7 days a week, protecting them all the time.
And the only thing that I'll say, again, not trying to get too much into religion because I hate the topic, but the only thing that I'll say to that, we're human.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Well, my response to that, as somebody, and again, I mean, you know, I'm not trying to sway views or anything on that either, but as somebody, I do have a lot of faith, you know, and to me, I mean, to the tune that I feel personally like it takes more faith for me. It would take a greater act of faith for me not to believe in God than it would for me to believe in God.
And you know, and it is, I have a lot of atheist friends. I mean, I live in a very spiritual place. It's not a religious place. Hawaii's very spiritual. It's not.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say that I'm not very religious, but I am very spiritual.
Yeah. And so for me, like with my atheist friends, they'll throw, you know, hell, they know I always joke they know the Bible better than I do. I'm like, Jesus, y'all need to just come over to this side. And
honestly, people who are doing themselves credit usually do.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer. People who are atheists, people who don't believe in God, it's because they've tried that religion, they've tried that path, and they found that it doesn't work for them. And most of the time, like you're saying, Tater, people who are atheists that I come across, they know more about the Bible than I do. And I'm not saying that I'm Christian. I'm not saying I'm atheist. I'm probably somewhere in between. But people who are atheists, I think, know the Bible better than Christians do.
Yeah.
It's because they've tried that faith, they've dug into it, and it doesn't work for them. They're able to pull out the flaws in the religion, like every religion has.
Right.
I mean, you can't tell me that there was a book that's written that millions of people are supposed to follow out of the blue. Just this is what we believe. You follow it too. Like,
yeah, but to the point of the bad stuff, I mean, one thing that I always look at, you know, biblically, God will not give us more than we can handle. And one thing that I always look at, because especially when I'm going through the hard times, and I think, why is this happening right now? You know, I've had faith, I've tried to do good things, but one thing I always realize is, out of all those trials, out of all those hardships that I've been through, the same with you. The same with both of you. I mean, you've learned something, or you've grown into the person that you are now. And so, you know, I mean, when we go back to those things, and you know, I'm as guilty in the moment of looking at those things and saying, why would this be able to happen as anybody else is? But everything that I can look back on, I'm like, you know, but I would not be where I'm at. I wouldn't have a story to tell. I wouldn't have, you know, an insight to share. I wouldn't have something that is at the core of who I am today if it wasn't for that thing.
Well, exactly. Yes. And, you know, it's like people say with alcoholics or drug addicts or anything of grief, or if you haven't been there, you can't resonate. I mean, Glyphic, honestly, if you hadn't had the path that you had, would your music be as passionate as it?
No.
And so it's like, you've got to take, like, yeah, it was shitty, but man, there's a reason why you did that. And, you know,
I'm a firm believer. I'm not big on, you know, religion and faith and all that, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my take is really, I have questions. I don't even know if it's, you know, like, it's not like
everybody does. Everybody does.
Don't sit here and question my own faith or whatever. But I do say with my you know, with my atheist friends, and it's stupid, really, probably or argument, but my thing is, I would rather believe in something that, okay, like if I believe in Jesus and I die and there's no afterlife, right? Okay, woohoo. What did I really lose? Did I lose anything? You know, maybe I didn't get to have which I still had the fun. It's not like we ain't having fun over here. Or what if I believe in something or don't believe in something that actually is true because I can't see it, and I lose out on eternity? Like, I'm just not willing to gamble on something that I know I don't have the 100% answer to. So I'd rather just, you know, believe that if I'm really trying to live the godly life, because I mean, people forget Jesus. We don't know what Jesus did there's a lot of stuff we don't know what Jesus did. And with him being around the people that he was around, I want to say he was probably a thug for life. And that is what's so cool about it, because he is mysterious, and we can think
Jesus
that
was an
whatever,
OG.
because he even questioned God. On the cross, he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" And that is a question, like, God, why have you left me? Why have you done this to me, Daddy? And so even him questioning his own father's plan is a sign for me that when I question, it's okay, because I ain't even close on his platform of being the man or woman. The love that he gave, I wish I could do that, because we all know later on in the stream, we're going to have we know evil is real in this world.
Yeah, I think,
and even good is tainted with evil.
I think any deeper in this topic would probably be best on the community stream
I
later.
know. And again, I don't care if he doesn't believe, as long as he ain't throwing pig's
I'm
blood
not.
and stuff
Well,
up.
I'll tell you this.
I don't care what
I'm
you
not.
believe in.
And again, like I said to Tyler, I'm one of those people that whatever I believe, I expect you to respect, and whatever you believe, I'm going to respect.
Sure.
So I'm not one of those people who's walking around here just like, fuck God, that he can burn in hell, all that. No, that's not me. If you believe in God, fantastic. If that works for you, go ahead and get it how you get it. But for me personally, I don't believe in him. There's no way.
Right.
So,
no, and I can completely understand, because I've been there. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to have hope for you, Glyphic. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try to keep on saying, Red Rover, come over to my side.
Yeah, and that's honestly, and not what you said, Tater. What you said was completely subtle just now. That there's nothing wrong with that. But one of the big things in my youth that pushed me away from religion was Christians telling me, "Oh, you have to believe in God, or you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna burn in hell. You're gonna die. If you don't believe in God and the Bible, then you're not living life right." Da 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 da. That was what started the whole.
Honey, I lived in a small town, 900 people, with 4 or 5 churches, and let me tell you, they were all doing the wife swing. It's not like just because they were in church. And of course, us lower life people, not with the name or the money or from the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing, but because we weren't in church, or even if we were in church, because we didn't have the newest dress or the newest slacks, I totally understand it. And I got to remember too, that you're 24. I was where you were at when I was 24. I'm going to be 47 this year. So I can have hope, because I was there where you were at one time too. So, and people tried to sway me, and I was just like, I remember, I don't want to be, if that's what Christianity is about, I don't want to rock with Christians, because it looks like nothing but cesspoolness. Because church is hate. Just because you go to church don't mean you preaching God in that building. Because I
know people that go to the strip club on Saturday and church on Sunday.
Yep, me too.
So just because you go to church don't mean that you buy the book.
I know some preachers that do that too. I'm just saying.
I've watched preachers go to my plug and pick up different narcotics. So it's like,
I know those Joel Osteens are out there, honey. I know them. And those Joyce Myers, those are all snakes. To me, I'm telling you, if you're making money off preaching the word of God, you are a snake. I don't care who you are. I'm sorry. If you're not living the Jesus life and the Paul and all of them, I'm sorry. I'm not down with you. And there's a lot of people in the church. There's a lot of preachers these days. I would say 90% are snakes.
Like you were saying, I'm 24 years old, and in my 24 years, well, the years that I can remember anyway, there are 2 pastors that I have met that are truly good people out of dozens. Easily.
And that's why I said there's probably about 80 to 90% of all the preachers and pastors out there in the church. Yeah, they're of Satan. They're just not godly people. So, I mean, not saying that they ain't out there. There's not some out there, but I agree with you, Glyphic. I really do. And it's sad because it turns people away because I'm not going to go to church. I mean, tomorrow's Easter. You ain't going to see this girl up in no church. Nope.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm an officer in my church, so I'll be there tomorrow. But
Well, that's good. I mean, all I'm saying is like churches where two people or more gathered in His name. So
Yeah.
So, Ty, if you don't mind, I hate to be that guy, but whatever questions or anything you got for me, bro, can we? Because I just got something I got to do in just a bit.
Yeah. No, I figured, and I know. The religious debate probably wasn't somewhere we wanted.
Like I said, it's all good. I'm one of those people. I don't mind putting out just who I am as an artist, but who I am as a person as well. So I don't mind having those debates at all.
No, and to be honest, those are the conversations that like I like to have in these interview segments because I mean I think they're good, and I think it's things like it shows a side that like we don't. You're not going to have that conversation in another interview. You know what I mean? Like you're not. It don't matter where you go or how many others.
Yeah, that's like what you were saying with the attest to respect to one another in the community. Me and Tater just had a very productive conversation without being respectful to one another. You don't have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I love about this community, man. Like you can literally sit and have this conversation. It's like, well, here's where I'm at. This is why I'm here. Like, and you know what? It is all good, and it should be all good. I saw Dan bounced out. I saw J-Law bounced out.
Yeah.
Was talking about appreciating how insightful and real the conversation is, and I appreciate that too because I know you talked about a lot of things that maybe you probably didn't plan on talking about when you came into it. So I do always appreciate.
I'm gonna have to get a interview set up with J-Law one of these days, for real.
Man, J-Law got to come back. J-Law owes me a date too. Like J-Law got to come back on here because we had one worked out a little while back, and then we ended up having to reschedule, and we never locked down a new date.
Right.
Let's see here. Looking through, I know there's a lot of commentary in the comments. I do agree with Stacy right there. Going to church does not make you a Christian any more than staying in a garage makes you a mechanics.
Absolutely.
And that's 100%. One thing that I found, man, like, I talk about my faith a lot. I came back to my faith when I was very much not going to church. And it was a church that pushed me away from it to begin with. And so.
Yeah, and that's like I was saying, before I even as a person doubted religion, what made me doubt religion was all the people who were diehard Christians telling me, you have to believe in God or you're going to die. You're going to go to hell. You'll burn in hell. If you don't live your life this way, then you're never going to succeed. Like, that's crazy. Like, what do you mean I have to follow this like word for word? I have to do this action for action or I'm not going to make it to the after. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah. My thing was like I had went through, like I was going to church, I'd been saved, like I was doing the good Christian thing, and then like the people in the church, they were like, well, when are you going to shave your beard off? When are you going to cut your hair? You still have the CD in your car? You can't listen to that. Like they were giving me all these extra things, and I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, where did this come from?
Like if I believe in God, let me believe in God, but let me and God have our own battle, our own relationship. You know what I mean? I don't have to fit the reform of every other Christian in the world.
That's one thing that I've said. Like I've had conversations about God because I'm different than other Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like I've talked to people who don't believe in God about God before, that they would have never had that conversation if I was coming at them like every other Christian does.
And that's me. I will have, you heard what I said in the beginning. I don't like talking about religion at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind the conversation that me and Tater had or that we're having now because it's not aggressive. Yeah. Most of the Christians that I've met, they're like, if I were to say what I said previously in the last few minutes, they would have been like, oh yeah, you're going to hell. You're going to burn at the stake. You a different one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, at that point, you don't even want to hear what I have to say. So there's no point in me saying what I'm going to say.
Well, that's always been the fear is like, understand our greatest call as Christians is to carry cross, to spread that word and everything. I'm not spreading anything to you if I'm knocking you out with what I believe in. And I'm saying like, if you don't believe what I believe in, I can't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll tell you what I've gained from stuff. We can share sermons and all that, but like, there's no There's no benefit in me just shutting you down before you even open the book. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But nah, like I appreciate seeing the conversations when they're able to
Hell yeah.
they're able to come in here, because like I said, I mean I love that this community, we can have a conversation without it being you have to believe what I believe. Walk away disagreeing. And if you ever want to pick it up, we can pick it up. You know what I mean? Like that.
Actually, one of my biggest battles with religion was with Tyler's parents, because like I said, he was very, very religious. I mean, he believes in God so much it's sickening.
Yeah.
But he wasn't one of those people who belittled you or looked down on you for you not believing, because like Tater said, himself, he went through many phases where he questioned his belief, where he questioned his faith, where he thought that God wasn't real because of what he was going through. Like when he went through that accident, that was when he had his biggest test. He was like, there's no way God's real. Look at me. Like, I'm paralyzed. My life sucks right now. My life is damn near over. Like, why would God do this to one of the children that he loves?
Yeah.
But that never stopped him from he loved God.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was one of my biggest battles with Tyler's parents, because his parents are also just as spiritual and believing as he is. And so when he passed away, I feel like they kind of sensed that I wasn't a believer,
Yeah.
and they started reaching out to me, and they were like, oh, Tyler would love if you, changed your faith. He would love that if you would, take in the same views and I'm like, don't do that. Don't take mine and Tyler's relationship and memory and try to turn it into changing my religion. Like that, mine and his relationship, our brotherhood, have nothing to do with God.
Yep.
So, and like, again, I don't hold anything against anybody who does believe in God. You can believe in God, Buddha, Assalamu alaikum, whatever you want. It don't matter. You know what I mean? But don't come at me saying that I'm something that I'm not just because I don't believe what you believe.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. People have to learn. Like, you're never going to want to learn or hear what I'm saying if you don't think that I'm a decent human, if you don't think that I value you as a human.
And the fact of it is, I can't say every Christian, but most of the Christians I believe, they believe that the majority of human beings are scum of the earth because they're not Christians.
Yep.
And that's just truth. Most of the Christians that I've met, they'll straight tell you to your face that you're dog food if you don't believe in God.
Yep. That's the tough part, man. But no, like I said, I appreciate the conversation coming around it. I know you got to bounce out pretty quick. I wanted to get one more song in. Do you have a preference?
So I do, actually. I have a song from my daughter that I know that you have not heard, and being as you have a 2-year-old daughter, I'm sure that you will resonate with this track.
Okay.
So look up Isabella Serenity by me. Isabella is with a Z and 2 L's.
Isabella Serenity. Let's see.
It's off my first project, Stitched with Good Intentions.
Yep, I see it. I got it up. All right, so we'll go out with this one now. I can't promise I'm not gonna pause. You know me.
Hey man, do what you do. Do what you do, bro.
Especially these songs, man. I'm gonna tell you. You and Jekyll did this to me, man. These songs, these grown men making songs about their daughters. Listen, like y'all always kick me in the feels on these songs, like because
like you said, bro. A lot of my music, I don't like making just because music. So
yeah,
most of my songs have some kind of meaning or message or something to get across behind them. So there's not many songs that I'm going to be able to play for you that don't have some kind of feels to them.
Yep. No, I feel you. I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, I appreciate how real. So we'll play this song, close out for a minute after, talk about it and everything, and then don't leave though when we shut down the stream, because I need to talk to you after for a second.
Yeah, no problem.
But let's see. All right, so we ready to go. Let's get this thing rolling.
So just to let you know, the voice that you hear in the beginning with me, that is my actual daughter.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the link to any of y'all that haven't checked out Glyphic period. I'm dropping the link to this song in the chat. If you guys want to head over, you like what you hear, want to show it some love, sub to Glyphic, all that, He's making some dope music. We've listened to it a little bit. I know some people have been in and out of the stream. I know some people will be watching it later. If you guys are watching it later, the link is in the description to his channel. Make sure you go show some love. But let's check out Isabella Serenity. Let's go.
Daddy! Hi, baby. I missed you. I missed you too, baby. Did you have fun today? Yeah. Oh, yeah? Hey, I love you.
So that was your daughter right there at the beginning, right?
Yep, that's her.
Okay.
That's my little girl.
Right on. So was she playing, or did you bring her into the studio to record that?
No, so I actually brought her into the studio, and I just turned the mic on, and I just started having a conversation with her. And the reason why it sounds a little choppy is because I took out some parts and moved some parts, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it sounds like that. But yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Hey, I love you. I love you too, Daddy. I'm glad you do. And I would never take that for granted. You are so beautiful. I love you. When you were first conceived, I dropped to my knees, started to beg and plead, cause I couldn't believe this was happening. I was shooken in my feels. It caught me backpedaling. I was stumbling on my heels.
Yo, he talking right there. I know you ain't even got into the meat of the song. I'm already thinking. I'm thinking about when me and my wife found out we were pregnant and everything. I'm thinking about like, am I man enough to be a dad? You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about that moment, man. Going back to that Glyphic storytelling, like you taking me back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that right there, man.
That's how I felt when I found out my girl was pregnant, because you know she was just my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Like, man, what the hell? I'm like, can I be a dad? Am I good enough to be a dad? Am I good enough to be with her? Am I good enough to raise a kid? Like,
yeah.
Am I a man enough to do this? Like, you know, going back to my childhood, not being raised with a father, I was scared I was gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could be like him and just run away right now and not have to deal with it.
Yep.
You know? So whole lot of emotions went through my head when I found out my girl was pregnant. A lot of emotions. And I was only 17 when I found out she was pregnant. I was 18 when she gave birth.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a 17-year-old, knowing you're gonna have a kid, I'm like,
yeah,
man.
I at least waited until my late 20s and I was still terrified. I can't imagine being 17, 18, you know, trying to figure it all out, man. All right, let's go.
In my feels, it caught me backpedaling. I was stumbling on my heels, cause I was scared to fail, not be able to provide. I was scared I wouldn't be good enough in your pretty eyes. No lie, I felt like I was gonna let your mama down, cause even when I tried my best, she was forced to hide that frown. I worked my ass off to turn that shit into a crown, so I'm proud when I stand up and say, look at my family now.
Now, when did this drop? Because this was okay. This was 2019. Because I noticed too. Like there's kind of that change in the delivery that we were talking about earlier too.
So this right here was the first project that I dropped after I took that 2-year hiatus.
Yeah, and so with this one, I do notice like in some of those places you're going a little bit faster. Like you're having that reverse shift from what you were having at the very beginning. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't not taking away from the message at all, man. It's that real, you know, worry of, can I take care of a family? And I feel that. And for any of y'all that missed it when we were talking earlier about it too, you know, mad respect, just knowing like you committed to give your daughter a family, to at least try to give your daughter a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a commitment a lot of men ain't gonna make when they find out at that point and think that they're not ready and stuff. So I mean, huge respect for that.
That's a fact. And my girlfriend, she told me numerous times at the time, she was like, listen, she was like, if you're not ready for this, you can go. Like, I'll take care of the kid. I'll do what I have to do. And I told her, I was like, straight up, like, don't make me punch you in the face. Like, like you talking stupid.
Yeah.
Like I already, you know where I come from, what my background is. There is no way I'm leaving you alone with this kid. Even if we're not together, you're not raising this kid alone. Like, and that's just facts. Regardless if we're together or not, we'll co-parent if we have to. But there's no way you're doing this by yourself. I'm not allowing that to happen. That's
a man. I can't tell you how much respect I have for that. Like legit. Like that's some grown man shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's That's real.
And a lot of people at the time were concerned because I was 17 and she was almost 21. So a lot of people were thinking, you know, underage, wanting to get out of situations. They were thinking that I would have possibly called rape on her and all this, that, and I'm like, listen, no, it wasn't no rape. We had sex. She got pregnant. Like, no, it don't work that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, let's go.
Hard or not, knowing was honestly the worst. Not knowing if I was good enough really hurt. All I knew was that it was time to man up, face my fears, get my bearings. It's time to stand up. Then you were born and life got really hard. Work, school, no sleep, caught daddy off guard. In the beginning, me and your mama.
What's up?
Yeah, pause that for me real quick, man. Listen, I tell any of my friends, not being able to sleep, going to school, and having a job to provide for a family is easily the hardest fucking thing that I have ever had to do.
Yeah.
Your child as a newborn, one, does not sleep. Two requires 100% full-time attention.
Yep.
Okay. So now you factor in when you get home, you're basically working all over again.
Yep.
So I'm at school trying to graduate because it's my last year, it's my senior year. I'm at work trying to bust my ass to make money so I don't get fired. And then I'm at home trying to bust my ass so my wife doesn't feel like she's by herself raising our kid.
Yep.
I was constantly working. I was so dog tired, dude. That is a time in my life that I would never wish to have back.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't regret anything. Yeah. But that time period in my life was so stressful, so draining, so taxing. There was so much fatigue in that. It is unreal.
Yeah. Well, I can relate to that, man. Like, because I wanted to be involved in my daughter. The last thing that I wanted was to say, okay, yeah, we had this kid. Now I'm busy over here, and so like
exactly.
Yeah. And so, you know, I was doing my job. I was coming back. I didn't have the YouTube thing at the time, but like I was going to work, coming back, and it's like, you know, trying to hang out and everything, and like just everything, like all them sleepless nights start catching up. I mean, still to a certain extent. I mean, we got a better balance now because, you know, like she comes down here and hangs out with me on here sometimes now. You know, like it is what it is. She's almost 3. Like she can do those things now.
Yeah, and I tell people it's. For dads, this is no bullshit. This is just from what I've experienced to what to be true. The mother is basically almost like a sole parent up until like 2 years of age, because the baby relies so much on the mother for the first 2 years. It's almost like dad doesn't even exist.
That's real talk, man. You feel helpless sometimes as a dad. Like a lot of,
and you'll see in the lyrics in this song, I even touched base. Like I literally felt like I was just sitting in the corner and was just like, oh, I'm here.
Did you guys breastfeed your daughter? Because that's like an extra level. Because we did too.
Yep. And I told my wife there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
When baby was crying or screaming and my wife was drained, it's not like I could go heat up a bottle and take the baby away from her, and try to, you know, give her a minute of rest. No.
Yeah.
She had to be connected to her mother. And it was so stressful for me as a new dad. I'm like, baby, I can't help you. Like I'm doing nothing. Yep. Like, I don't know how to help you. You're literally doing it by yourself. Like, I'm here, basically moral support, but the baby wants you.
Yep.
The baby needs you.
That's what I said, you know, like we would hit those points, like until obviously, you know, if you're breastfeeding and stuff, until your kid starts eating solid food and stuff, like you can't do anything. Like you can change a diaper. But like other than that, it's like I'm just standing here like cheering you on for the most part. And I'm like that was a hit for me because I always took like
it hits your pride as a man. It's like, damn, what the hell am I actually doing for her?
Yeah.
What am I doing for the kid?
What I came in like you did, you know, when I found out I was having a kid, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to be that leader of my household.
Like, I gotta lock down. I gotta get my shit right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the kid gets here, and it's like I can't
I'm not
do
doing
anything.
a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to be running this bitch. Damn it, I ain't doing nothing.
Why I'm sitting on the sideline every day, man? Damn. Like, man.
But in the same token, I will say, from about like 3-4 years old all the way up until they move out, Dad has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
My daughter now, man, she's 6 years old. She loves playing with me. She loves hanging out with me. If she can choose, and it's not about who you love more or nothing like that, but if you could choose, she would take daddy over mom any day of the week.
That's where my daughter's at. Like, my wife's ready to have another kid because she's like, you walk in the room and I just disappear. She's like,
that's exactly how my wife is. She's like, listen, we need to have another one, a boy, so he can be up my ass.
Yeah.
Because even just a little bit ago, I had to mute my mic. That was my daughter came in here and she was like, "What are you doing, Dad?" And I'm like, I'm on YouTube on an interview. She said, "Can I see?" And I'm like, "No, get." She's like, "But I want to hang out with you."
Yeah, man. Like that's the craziest thing. Like, I was laying on the couch the other day, just laying on the couch, like I went and laid down for a minute. I had just gotten off work. Just laid down there. It was maybe like 10 seconds before my daughter had like gotten up on the couch and like found herself like a little nestling spot over between me and the back. Cause like, I mean, legit what I'm doing, like if I'm around, and I'm not saying it to like, cause I mean, my wife gets her feelings hurt about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but like, I'm not saying it to be like she likes me better. Because I hope she doesn't. Like, I don't think she does.
And I tell my daughter all the time, because my daughter will literally straight up tell my wife, she'll be like, "I love daddy more. I want to hang out with daddy." And I'm like, "No, you don't mean that. Like, you don't love me more than your mom. You might like hanging out with me more than your mom. But trust me, if it came down to it, you would miss mommy just as much, if not more, than daddy. I promise you."
Well, that's been big on me, and that's we're getting into that phase. I want my daughter to understand like her connection with her mom is different than her connection with me. Like,
absolutely. Like, yes, I'm gonna be your biggest guider. I'm gonna be your biggest support. I'm gonna be your best friend. But at the end of the day, your mother is your backbone. She is your entirety. Like, she knows you better than anybody on this planet. I promise you.
Yep, 100%, man. All right, sorry, sidebar, but again, when we
good, man. That's good conversation right there.
Those are those things. That's why I say y'all kill me with these tracks, because like those are those things, like they come out of these songs. But I'm happy. What makes me happy, and here's what really like resonates with me when I'm listening to these tracks. I'm so glad to know that there are dads who give a shit in the world, like besides me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like I don't know. Like it just resonates with me. I'm like, I'm not the only one out here fighting this battle to be a real dad. You know what I mean? Like,
just I don't want to touch too much on it, but just a quick little thing. I don't know if you saw it or not. Like a year and a half or 2 years ago, there was a big thing where women were trying to cancel Father's Day, and I was like, man, I wish you bitches fucking would cancel. Just because there's a million dead beats out there doesn't mean that there isn't the 20 of us that are trying to raise our goddamn kid.
Exactly.
Like, hell no.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, I don't even care about Father's Day that much. I just, I like.
No, but I'm just saying, just to point out just how, because it sucks, but fathers are notoriously known for being deadbeats.
Yeah,
and that's just what it is. And it's not about race. It's not about class. It's not about where you grew up. There are so many deadbeat fathers out there that people are just so used to not having a dad. Like, dads aren't important. And it's sick, because children need a father. They need their mother. They need both parents to have a proper upbringing. Like, I was telling Tater, there were so many things as a man that I didn't know how to do, because my mother was the only one that was there. I had to learn from uncles and friends basically how to do things as a man, because I was never taught.
Yep. I even and I had both of my parents, but like my dad was a truck driver. Like I had similar things, like my uncle was like a second dad to me, because he taught me so many things. I spent so much, just because dad was gone for 2 weeks at a time at a certain point in my life, and then he would come back. And like, I learned so many things from my uncle because of that. Or like the first time I had to shave, like, dad had been out on the road and stuff. And like, I was getting that nasty little peach fuzz thing that you start getting when you're 11 years old or so.
Yeah.
And like, my mom had to show me how to shave. Well, obviously she knows how to shave her legs. She don't know how to shave a face.
You don't know how to shave a face. Yeah.
Yeah.
You all cut up, got band-aids and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, it ended up being a thing. Like, I did what she said, and I'm like, nah, man, I don't like this.
This ain't working. Like,
this ain't going right. And so, dad finally showed me that, but I'm like, I get that. Like, I get that 100%. Like, I mean, you need both parents. Like, I'm always going to advocate Like even if you guys don't stay married, can't make the marriage work.
Exactly. You don't have to be married to be good
Mhm.
parents. You don't have to be together to be good parents. You can be co-parents without being assholes to each other.
And
Just
people,
because you and your ex significant other or whoever have your differences does not mean that should affect your child's upbringing.
That's the thing. That's the thing that sticks with me more than anything to this day. People got to stop playing their kids against each other if they do split.
Yes. I cannot stand that shit. There, like Taylor was saying, there's so many bitter baby moms out, and don't get me wrong, there's baby dads too, but it's majority baby moms. There's so many bitter baby moms out there that teach their kids to hate their fathers. There's so many baby moms out there that teach their kids that their father ain't shit. So then it's like, if you are trying to co-parent, when you finally go with your dad, you got already a preconceived conception of what kind of person he is without him even being able to prove who he is.
Yeah. Yep. That's I mean that's the thing. Like to this day, and I'll tell you, like it don't go away in your 30s. Like to this day, my mom still tries to like get the upper hand on my dad. Like she'll be over visiting or something, talking smack about my dad. I'm like, my dad.
Shit, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm like, my dad is, first of all, he's a great man. Like didn't graduate high school, like worked hard for everything he had though to take care of his family and stuff, take care of not just his kids, but also like his brothers, his sisters, like literally giving everything he could to everybody. And we started in a single wide trailer in the top county in America for poverty, like the lowest household income county. He was the only one working while my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, you can't tell me he brought himself up to where he's at now. Like, man gritted and grinded, you know what I'm saying? Like while farming on the side, while doing all these other things. I'm like, don't talk smack about the man just because you didn't want to stay with him. Like
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's a sore spot. Sorry. Side rails, derail.
Let's get back into this track, man.
Let's go back to the song now. We talk about being good dads now.
Hell yeah.
No sleep, caught daddy off guard. In the beginning, me and your mama had it bad. She was the only one involved, and daddy was kind of sad, not mad.
Yeah.
It seemed as though I couldn't even help, so I sat in the corner with my head down, hushed up and dealt.
See that right there? You talk about what we talked about right there.
I literally, I sat in the corner with my head down because I felt bad and just hushed up and dealt with it, because I can't attack her mother for the baby wanting her. What am I going to go at her for? It's not her fault.
Yep.
You know, so it was like I was just sitting in the corner like, what in the fuck do I do? How do I help?
Yep. You try to get in too. That's the thing that we saw, like as Emery got a little bit bigger, like, you know, I mean, because Sierra was having to be the main one feeding her and everything, you know, as Emery got a little bit bigger, it was like, you know, she didn't even want me changing her diapers or something. Like she would fight me if we were getting there, because it's like she's used to Sierra doing everything at a certain point. Like she's just like don't know what's going on when I'm grabbing something, you know, doing something, trying to pitch in. Yeah. And so like, I mean, that, and it's long, man. People don't see that, but it's a long process to get back to the point where the kid like wants to let you feed them and stuff like that. I mean, now Emery don't want to eat unless I'm sitting down next to her. So, I mean, you know, I guess you get what you ask for eventually, but dang.
Couldn't even help, so I sat in the corner with my head down, hushed up and dealt, cause all you ever wanted was mommy, and that was it. I was in the background thinking that this is it, no relationship with my baby, wondering like maybe if I tried to step in that mentally, it would save me. So I started doing more, and it was like a ray of light. Bedtime, you wanted daddy every night. As you progressed, our love got even stronger. The days at work without you seemed to get a little bit longer. I was beat down but still refused to be conquered. Just having you honestly made me feel honored.
I like that, man. I didn't want to pause through that piece until that thought got out, but like I was getting chills thinking about that, like talking about, you know, trying to do more, daughter trying to, you know, wants you more and everything. And like, you know, I was thinking one thing I always wanted to do. I've got like these, I got a huge book collection. I had this book of stories, like the fairy tales, like it's a nice leather bound book. And I took them to my daughter. And so one of the things, I took that off my bookshelf the day that she was born. I wrote her a big, like message on the front cover and everything, and like put it on her bookshelf with all of her little baby books and nursery rhyme books and all that stuff. And so we got to a point a couple of weeks ago, like it really stood out to me. Like I was going to bed with her, I was reading her a bedtime story, right? I was sitting down, and I always try to read her a little bit out of the Bible. I won't say I do it every night, but I try to every night. I'll read her a little bit out of the Bible, and then I'll read her a story from the storybook, right? And so we're sitting there, and the lights are off and everything. I'm reading off of the light on my phone. I just got it shining on there, and I'm reading through this story, and it's so cute, man, because she's like, she got them little hands and everything. She's reaching over, like trying to help me turn the page, and I'm like, this is it, like that moment where you realize, like,
that's what you wanted. Like, this is what I wasn't able to do. Like, and that's why I said in the thing, I started doing more, and it was like a ray of light, because once I stepped in and proved to my daughter, like, hey, he does exist. Like, it was like a whole new thing. Every night before there's one story that my wife recalls where, because I would go to school until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, go to work from like 6 or 7 at night until like 2, 3 in the morning. You know what I mean? 4 in the morning. So there was nights where my daughter would not go to sleep until I came home and I put her to sleep. And that's why I said, once I started doing more, my daughter wanted me every night. Like she did not, my wife wasn't enough for her. Like, she was like, nah, daddy's putting me to sleep. I don't care what time he shows up, but daddy's putting me to sleep.
Yep. All right, let's go. I'm excited because I also know you got to run, but like I want to hear the rest of this. So
yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Get back, man.
Used to be conquered, just having you honestly made me feel honored. I couldn't believe I could make something so beautiful. Isabella Serenity, to me that sounds so musical. As you grew up, I did too, just in a different way. Cause hustling sun up to sundown every single day made daddy mature in a hurry, that's a fact. Endless nights of sleep that I can never get back. But I would do it all again just for you. Cause you have my heart, my love for you is true. As the years pass, we built a bond that's unbreakable. Our love for each other is definitely unmistakable. Now at the end of the day, I can't wait to get home. Cause once you're in my arms, I never feel alone. You're my biggest headache and my best accomplishment. Since day one, you've received so many compliments on beauty, smarts, and everything in between. Your imagination stretches longer than any limousine and any future.
What you got on your arm there?
So this was the first tattoo that I ever got.
Let's see here.
So says Isabella. This right here has the time that she was born.
Yeah.
Serenity is her middle name.
Nice. Because
she's Puerto Rican, the hibiscus flower, that's the national Puerto Rican flower.
Yeah.
She's got 2 middle names. Her second middle name is Mariposa. Mariposa means beautiful butterfly.
Yeah.
And the date that she was born.
Right on, man. That's a beautiful tattoo. Like I've been wanting to get one for my daughter. Like, I mean, I'm a little bit more covered, like,
yeah.
But I've been trying, like, to figure out to get one for my daughter, like on my chest or something. But it's always like there's not like a lot of imagery in her name, and so like it's always hard to figure out. But I like the clock idea. Like I might honestly be stealing that from you. Like,
it's all good, bro. Yeah, I wanted to put the banner with the different names, with her first name and her middle name, and then her birth date, and then the clock came in for the time that she was born.
Yeah.
The flower because we're Puerto Rican and that's our national flower, and then the butterfly because that's what one of her middle names means.
Right.
For me, the whole tattoo just made sense. I pictured it in my head what I wanted it to be before I went to my artist with it.
That's awesome, man. Like I really like that. I like the imagery in it and everything. And like I said, I mean, with the conversation we've had, like I know that being a dad is like one of the most important things too. You know, like if not the most important thing, but I mean, it's just it's an awesome testament. You know, so many people get throwaway tattoos and stuff like that's a nice.
That's another thing. I'm not big on throwaway tattoos. I don't put nothing on my body that I don't have a reason for. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
that's like this one right here. That's for my mother.
Yeah.
It says Boricua, which means I'm Puerto Rican. It's the hibiscus. You can't really see it. There's a frog on there with the Puerto Rican flower or the Puerto Rican flag on his back.
Yeah.
And then I got my mom's name, Susanna.
Okay. That's nice.
And then for the first project, Stitched with Good Intentions, like you see.
Yeah. Okay.
It said, I myself am made entirely of flaws stitched together with good intentions.
Yeah.
Tie strong, and then
you got that Ty tribute.
Yep.
Now I knew about that one because you flashed it across in the video for that song, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I knew that one because we had talked about that one before. Man, that's awesome though, for real. Like I don't do throwaway tattoos either. I have a lot of tattoos, you know. I got my whole left arm, my whole right leg, like my shoulder up here, and then my forearm down here. But like I don't do throwaways, and that's hard to explain to people. Is like, you know, I have a lot of symbolism in them. They all like they don't outright say what they are, but like I always respect people who put thoughts into what they're putting on their body instead of just getting like some tribal shit because it looks cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see. Let's go.
Between your imagination stretches longer than any limousine and any future battles. I shall never surrender. Me fighting for you, there's no better contender. Till the day I drop, I'll try to guide your path. Yeah, I'll be your friend, but I'm still your dad. I'ma look out for you if you like it or not, cause I know that one day daddy just won't be part of your plot. You're gonna blossom and venture on your own. Tell me it's okay, daddy, now that I am grown. I'm zoned, just hoping that she'll make it on her own. It's important to know that you'll always have a home. Isabella, you gotta know that your daddy loves you very, very much. Very, very much. And no matter what we go through, I will always love you. Always, always love you. You will always have.
Trailed off awkward on me there. Yeah. I like let me click
that was her that just popped in here.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was part of the song because I was actually over there trying to catch it before it ended.
That was her voice you just heard.
I'm gonna drop a link to this one in the chat again, guys. Go show us some love if you haven't. But yeah, man, like there's a couple of things in there that really stand out to me because you're talking about that sense. We already talked about that. The other thing though, like I hit a point where where I couldn't do as much for my daughter, like I picked up a couple of extra jobs, so that my wife could devote more time to her and everything. And so like you talking about those sleepless nights, like that one really resonates with me because I started writing for pay, like actually started freelancing and stuff like that on the side from my day job. I picked up obviously the YouTube channel. I was already DJing before, and so I had my DJ business, and so like that was my thing, was like, where can I pitch in the most? And it was like putting in all those extra hours to get those extra revenue sources so that like I could eventually and thankfully we hit a situation where finally my wife was able to just be a full-time parent. But like that was the thing for me, was those sleepless nights, man. That really shines through because there was a point where I was not sleeping, like, because you got to be on that grind.
A walking zombie. And that's exactly like where I come with it essentially, because even though, as an artist, I love making music. Yeah. But essentially, everything that I do is to better my family. You know what I mean? Like, it's essentially to provide for things for my daughter that I never had.
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal, basically, it's not even for myself. Like, if I make it mainstream or make thousands or millions of dollars, it's not because I'm trying to reach a certain goal. It's because I want to be able to provide for my daughter what I never had. I want to be able to set her up for life and make sure that she never has to struggle or see the things that I ever saw. Yeah. And that's what it's basically all about. It's not for me. I'm not out here I'm not trying to get rich. Yes, I'm trying to get rich, but I'm trying to get rich for my daughter.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that she has everything and anything in her power to be the greatest that she can be.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always say too. I'm not trying to make it to the top. I'm not trying to be like, the rich and fame and everything.
I don't care about fame. I don't care about clout. I don't give a flying shit about that. I don't want to be on the cover of newspapers and magazines and shit. Fuck all that. Just give me enough money, help me enough to be able to make a life for my daughter that I didn't have. That's what it comes down to. Like, I don't even, like I said, I don't even need to be mainstream. I don't even need to be a millionaire. If I was 100,000-aire, I would be able to live life the way that I want for myself and for my daughter.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and that's where it goes back to is just being that provider. But I'm gonna tell you, man, like I've really appreciated this conversation. I appreciated all your time. I don't think you probably planned on 3.5 hours when we started this, but
it's all good, man. It's all good. I definitely appreciate you reaching out, allowing me to come on the platform and just speak my truth, man.
Man, I loved it. Like I love getting to know you a little bit better and like getting to know like that's one of the things with this interview. Like I call it Around the Music because I want to talk about the music, but I want to know more like in depth and
the artist. Yeah.
And I think it's awesome, man. I think like learning who you are and how you carry yourself. I mean, it makes the music make more sense. And also, I mean, talking through like knowing the love you've got for your daughter, knowing like the importance you put. It takes a big man to give responsibility as a man, and I say that because there are too many men that don't want to own their place in this world anymore.
Facts.
And just like Tater said right there, women need to hold women accountable. Men need to do the same. Lots of women who should be calling out other women as being drama mamas. 100%.
Well, as men who should be calling out other men for being deadbeats.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like, there are men who don't want to own their place. And if you're not going to own your place, you're not a real man. Don't go call yourself a real man. Don't try to.
I know people in my life right now, literally right now, that say that if they got a girl pregnant, I'll see you later.
Yeah,
and I'm like that. I don't understand. Not a single piece of my being understands how you could be like that.
I don't either.
That is literally a piece of you. That is a direct reflection of you. That came from you. Like, how could you just disrespect something like that? Something so beautiful. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
I look at my kid and I honestly could not imagine a situation where, like,
yourself, if you weren't in her life. If you were, like, if you and your wife or girlfriend or whatever split when you found out she was pregnant, would your daughter be the girl that she is today?
Nah, and that's the thing. I mean, like I said, I mean, you know, I very much I want her. Like I don't know. I mean, they're just it's a whole long tangent, but it's like I just. She wouldn't have that source of strength. She wouldn't have that source of, because I know like my daughter right now, she's almost 3. I see her when she starts to do something, like I can see her looking at me to see like, am I doing something wrong right now? You know?
Cool? Am I doing the right thing? Like, are you mad at me for this? Like,
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, where would she be without that? Because she don't look at my wife like that. Like, not saying that my wife doesn't discipline our kid.
Right. But I tell my wife all the time, and it's no disrespect to her. I tell her literally all the time, right to her.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that when it comes to a certain point, my daughter will take you serious. Yeah. But for the most part, she views you as a friend. You're like her buddy. Yeah. Like, you two do everything together. She looks to me as the one like, yo, like, is this right? Is this wrong? Like, am I about to get in trouble? Like,
it's that emotional strength versus moral strength is what it comes down to. And for me,
it's important to have both.
Yeah. And I think it's great. But with that being said, man, you got anything? I know you got the new EP coming out. You got anything you want to plug?
So that's basically all I want to say. Basically, just, you know, if anybody who appreciates the story, appreciates the morals, the love, anybody who just vibes with me as an artist or as a person, please subscribe to my YouTube. Please check out my Spotify, Apple Music, whatever platform you use. It does not matter. I'm on all platforms. The only thing that I'm not on is SoundCloud. So, you know, check it out, share, tell your friends, you know, let's grow as a family. The Alpha team, you know, Glyphic as an artist, me as a person, my community, let's go up. I got this new EP coming. I'm not entirely sure when. I'm hoping to be somewhere in like early midsummer. So just keep your eyes open for that. Let's get it.
We're gonna be watching for sure. We're gonna be riding with you. Like I said, I'm gonna play this video real quick to close out. Don't bounce away. I want to talk to you after the stream ends for a second. Everybody watching, don't forget. I said 6 originally. That's in 7 minutes, so it's actually going to be 7 when we rock with the community stream. But we will be back with the community stream later. Make sure them notifications are on. We're gonna be
a little late, but I'm gonna be there.
All right, we'll be looking for you. But I appreciate everybody stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to head over to Glyphic's channel. Do the same, man. Push him, put him out there. Push him to all the other reactors that stop by or stop by later. Make sure that you guys put them on because you ain't gonna be disappointed. But that's all we got. Let's throw up this video and close this thing out.
I appreciate the love. Appreciate the love, Alpha Team, for real.
It's all love, man. Let's go. See you guys.